welcome to World League Weekend number 2. Eric Clemens here at our FX studios in New York. Have a pretty good contest for you this afternoon. Frankfurt and Amsterdam renewing one of the more intense rivalries in the World League, and you won't want to miss Docker's halftime today. Orlando Pace, the first overall selection by the Rams in the first round of the draft, will be here live with me in the studio talking about how it feels to be selected number 1. Right now it's time for some spring football, and let's get ready to send it out to our colleagues Paul Kennedy and Ray Bentley, who are at the Galaxy's Power Party in Frankfurt. Gentlemen?
It's a football festival in Frankfurt as the World League arrives. The merriment and celebration of the Galaxy's home opener hosting the Amsterdam Admirals. I am Paul Kennedy. Welcome to Frankfurt. Tens of thousands of football-crazed, face-painting fans joining you for the World League. Our expert analyst today, perfect for this occasion. For better than a decade of play, Ray Bentley painted his face first and then went out and swapped paint on the helmets of opponents. Ray, you got to like the looks of this crowd.
I love this crowd here in Frankfurt for the World League opener here. They paint their faces, and they do an excellent job of it. That means excellent football coming up.
Both teams looking for their first win of the season. In week number 1, Frankfurt beaten by London. Thought it had its ground game going.
They did early on. Bobby Phillips took the ball the first 5 carries of the game, 32 yards and a touchdown, ended the day with 87, but they got away from him late. To be successful, they've got to get the ball in Phillips' hands today.
Even though the reigning World Bowl champion Scottish Claymores beat Amsterdam, it was a heck of a fight. Amsterdam does have a defense.
They played well on defense, led by linebackers Trevor Wilmot and Mark Lillibridge. These two guys combined for 21 tackles, and I'll tell you, Paul, they're a little face paint away from an NFL roster.
The face painting must be overly tempting for you. Go get them.
I'm going to go to makeup right now.
Here comes our lineups, our opening kickoff after these commercial messages from Frankfurt.
Today's game is brought to you by Docker's Khakis. Hey, nice pants. Watch tomorrow's NFL stars today in the World League. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, Scotland hosts Barcelona. And at 1 p.m., the Rhine Fire Simmers versus Stan White of the London Monarchs. Catch doubleheader action starting at 10 a.m., 9 Central on FX.
Ain't nothing cooler than the blues. It's living the blues. Complete. Definitive. It's the kind of collection only Time Life could put together.
It could be a spoonful of coffee. Could be a spoonful of tea.
Start with Blues Legends and get 20 absolutely essential blues classics for just $9.99 on cassette or compact disc.
Further on up the road, someone's gonna hurt you like you hurt me.
Then audition other albums. Keep only the ones you want. Satisfaction guaranteed. The blues are hotter than ever. So call now.
To order Living Blues, call 1-800-443-6900 or send $9.99 for 1 cassette or 1 CD plus $3.50 shipping.
Welcome worldwide to Germany in April and to the nation's financial center of Frankfurt. Nearly 1 million citizens gracing this metropolis. 10 centuries, 1,000 years of history rising on the shores of the Main River. We're in Ball Stadium, where annually it holds the largest World League crowds. They party hardy here. American football embraced in this region. Frankfurt playing its first home game of the spring. We will find a chill in the air in Germany for our contest tonight. A mist has moved away. Temperatures, as you see, in the low 50s for our two teams. Already a keen rivalry from games gone by. The last 3 won by Frankfurt. And this game, most important for both Coach Al Luganville and his counterpart, Ernie Stotner. They believe they have to win this game tonight. Ernie Stotner, a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His team will field the football first as we are underway tonight from Ball Stadium. Oliver Quas kicking. Turner on the return. And Vernon across the 20, out to the 22-yard line. And Frankfurt, the Galaxy, will go on offense first. Rich Jurkovic hustling down for Amsterdam on the special teams tackle. At the center of the offensive universe, you might say, for the Galaxy, quarterback Chad May, the former Kansas State passing grade, on allocation now from the Phoenix Cardinals and just hungry and ready to play football again. He's been on the sidelines for 2 years watching in Minnesota.
Yeah, really didn't get a chance last week with 7 sacks, 4 bad snaps. So they're going to get him out there early, try and get him going, evaluate him, because Steve Pallure, their quarterback last year, is waiting in the wings, and we may see some of him today, particularly if the blitz hurts these Galaxy again.
Our referee today is assigned by Jerry Seaman of the National Football League. From the West Coast, you see Mike Pereira. We have 3 NFL officials, 3 collegiate officials in development, and 1 national official working this World League contest. In week number 1, it was Frankfurt falling in London 14-7. And their counterpart is Ernie Startner looks on and is raring to go. Amsterdam beaten at home, managed but 3 points, 16-3. All 3 low-scoring affairs with the exception of Barcelona, tallying 27 to beat Rhine in Dusseldorf, 27-12. That was week 1.
As you might expect, Paul, defense is way ahead of the offenses this time of year.
Chad May spent most of last Sunday on his back in London. He was sacked 7 separate times by the victorious London Monarchs. Jim Kitts is the fullback. Play action. May will throw on first down, and it is caught by Vernon Hitler. The tight end with the gain of 20 out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. Tommy Jones, the corner out of Fresno State, came up to make the stop. A big first play in the first game at home for Frankfurt.
Here's Hitler right here, the tight end, and you're going to watch as he releases play action. They ran the ball the first 5 times they had it last week, so they thought they'd come out, throw a little surprise on him, and they got Hitler wide open over the middle, and the hip is going to take it up the sidelines with a big gain for Frankfurt as they try to get this offense going. That's a great start for them.
Werner Hitler, without a doubt, the finest European player produced. He is a member of the San Diego Chargers, played for them last year, is under contract for 1997.
He caught 1 ball last week for 5 yards, but the reason he's here is to get better at his blocking. In fact, he asked to come back over here. He knew he wanted to work on that blocking to become a better all-around ball player, and that's what he's here trying to accomplish. He also catch a few passes along the way.
Kevin Gilbride, in his first year in San Diego, will like the looks of him. Mike Pereira does not like the looks of the stadium clock, which at the moment is malfunctioning, and he will come over and tell Al Luganville, more likely than not, that the time will be kept on the field. While we have a moment, Frankfurt's collection of running backs and receivers might well be the class of the league. Mario Bailey ranking 3rd in league history in receiving yards. Phillips under contract now to Pittsburgh, and we have already seen what Hitler with that lightning bolt can do.
Hitler did a great job on that, and he is the national starter, but he'd be starting anyway. And the other guy we got to look at is Super Mario Bailey. Has a 21-game World League reception streak. He's been their go-to guy for the last 3 years, and he's at it again this year. Caught 3 balls for 32 yards last year. And another guy you just saw there is Ingo Seibert, and we expect to see him out there today as well in the backfield.
And Seibert opening on that first snap from scrimmage as Frankfurt went from its own 22 up to the 42. Hey, that might be for Startner's offense equivalent to all the offense they could produce a week ago in a frustrating first game in London.
It was half of their passing yards last week. They only ended up with 40, so they took a big chunk out of it early here.
They had a very long week of work, to say the least. Jason Shelley, wide receiver, to the top of your screen. Bailey, the bottom of your picture. The pump fake, and there is sack number 1. Down goes May. Dropped by Howe on the inside for the Admirals. Gary out of the University of Colorado, the former All-American, the 273-pounder, was sack number 1. The offensive line left London in shambles, struggling here. Can it be retooled this week? Joe Garden opens up at center. A new man to make the line calls. Nate Miller, as you see, plays in Atlanta in the 4.
Center was a big problem. Gartner trying to come in and shore things up.
Look at this. It's Ingo Seibert to the roar of the crowd across midfield, inside the 40, the 35, rolled out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Seibert, the German native, He was a pole vaulter in his teenage years. He's a football player now.
Well, he vaulted through the middle of the line here. You're going to see a trap. This is your man that's going to come down and make the key block here. You're going to hit into a quick inside handoff. Nice blocking there. They fool him with that trap a little bit, and then Cyber, boy, he hits the hole, and he takes off, gets to the sideline, showing great speed here.
A gain of 30 on the play. He'll get it again. Sweep the right side with blocking. And inside the 30 to the 29. He has scored 7 touchdowns professionally with the Galaxy. This is his 3rd season in Frankfurt, and obviously, backed by this very large crowd, a fan favorite. For Amsterdam defensively, up front in the Admirals 4-3 scheme, San Diego State grad Avo Abatizian from Armenia will be playing as the national starter. Miller, Evans, and Howe already with the sack today. We'll get the linebackers, the secondary, in a moment. Deep drop for May. He zips it over the middle. It's bobbled and then held on to and caught for the first down. There is Super Mario Bailey now at the reception, and count him, a league record 22 consecutive games.
That's got to give Chad May a lot of confidence in there. Last week, he had a couple of them drop, and he wasn't able to really get over that. This week, Bailey coming across the middle. You're going to see him. He's going to hit, that ball's going to hit him. He's going to beat it up a little bit, soften it up a little bit, so then he can grab it. And he is able to manage to come up with this one. And I tell you what, the Galaxy didn't move the ball like this all week last week. They must have taken heed to Ernie Stautner's toughening up a practice session.
May has him on the move. Here comes the blitz on the draw. Cyber runs right into it, and he'll be dropped on the play for a loss. Trevor Wilmot almost on cue. You see the dreadlocks coming out from the back of his helmet. He, along with Lilbridge, combined for double-digit tackle totals. Lilbridge under contract to Jimmy Johnson's Dolphins. And you see from Japan, Masa Kawaguchi, the designated national starter in that 3-man linebacking core. It is 2nd down after the loss of 3. No score, opening drive. And movement and jumping up front. Flags fly. In the backfield at the snap of the ball, Ronnie Wolfwood was crashing. Number 59.
Well, the first thing you do when you jump offside and fall, you start pointing at somebody, and you try and sell it to the officials. Hey, they made me move. We'll find out, let them sort it out, and find out what they do.
Wolfwood played in this stadium for Frankfurt last year.
Prior to the snap, offside on the defense, number 59, unabated to the quarterback.
So maybe confused which huddle he should have been a part of. Which line of scrimmage? I wore the Frankfurt uniform in
I'm sure
96.
that's the part of it, and also the pointing that he didn't quite work for him either. So you're going to see if you see anyone move here in the Galaxy line. No, not really. I didn't see any kind of bobble at all. Good job with Chad May using the voice inflection to draw the Admirals offside.
Seibert along with Vernon Turner out of the pro set, and there goes May. May with time throws to the far sideline and overshoots his intended target at the 6-yard line. Once again, that was Mario Bailey. Coach Al Luganville of Amsterdam praised his 2 cornerbacks following that opening week setback. Ron Carpenter, the ex-New York Jet, along with Tommy Jones on the other side, his 2 corners, and he also has a free safety in Robert O'Neill, who is the all-time leading tackler in the 3-year history of that Amsterdam franchise.
And Jeff Russell, the safety, also returns punts, had 8 tackles last week. That's too many for a safety, but you like to see a guy get active like that.
Big snap here, 4-man rush. May on 3rd down. Down he goes. Sacked a 2nd time, and Howe got him. Howe with 2 sacks, and this one crucial on 3rd down. So May now sacked 9 times in less than 5 quarters of football, and Howe with a good pass rush.
Here's Howe. Right here, you're going to see him, and he's the guy that's going to come and just beat his man. It's going to be a good battle right there. He gets almost double teamed, but the center goes away to help someone else. And then Howe comes up with a big sack. His 2nd already here in just the 1st series.
Ralph Kleinman from Cologne, a German native, will attempt the 39-yard field goal. The line drive kick is good. Kleinman splits the upright from 39. And the Galaxy in their home opener score on their opening possession to lead by a field goal.
In every bottle. In every bubble lies the formula for refreshment.
It all started with this dime tip. Suddenly, I was the boss. So I gave myself a day off and went shopping. It was so great. Everything I tried on fit like it was cut just for me. Later at the salon, Candace Bergen shows up with my phone bill.
This will make your day.
Every call was just a dime a minute when I'm home, evenings and weekends. On the way out, I pass the dime on. Who wouldn't want a great rate like that?
Call now for 200 minutes free.
They're coming from Japan, from Russia, from everywhere, but they all wind up in the same place. The Wound and Wound Toy Company, one of the world's largest collections of wind-ups, LA's hottest movers, shakers, and big talkers. So bring your inner child, your real child, and your Visa card. Because at the Wound and Wound Toy Company, you won't wind up with anything using American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Chan May has just driven his ball club 9 plays at 60 yards, consumed better than 4 minutes off the clock. Ralph Kleinman nailing the 39-yard field goal, and that's how you get your home season underway.
Yeah, they're very excited about it here, and a much different offense than we saw last week from the Galaxy.
Ron Carpenter and Jeff Russell in twin receiving out at the 16-yard line. Here comes Russell across the 30, 35, up to the 40-yard line. So it is Russell, played in the Arena League for Memphis, on the return, and here comes John Saka, the quarterback of the Admiralty, opening at the helm. Good size at 6'3". His experience, though, Ray, limited to his collegiate days at both Penn State and then Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, it's been 2.5 years since he really got out there and played any ball. He was the backup here in '96. He gets his shot this year. Speaking of shots, he got 6 stacks. He took some shots last week. They're going to try and get him more into the offense this week.
Ralph Dawkins, the lone setback. Play action to him. Saka throwing vertical, and he overshoots his intended target. On first down, that was Masato Itai out of Japan at 15 yards downfield. You see Itai there from Kyoto. John Davis, the tight end, impressive from Tampa Bay. A.C. Tellison with only 2 catches. Both came in the 4th quarter last week in the loss. And Itai, he was the intended man on first down.
Tellison is the biggest target out there, 6'3". Didn't get the rock until the 4th quarter last week. They got to get him involved earlier this time.
Same set, and this time the inside give, but Dawkins coughs it up. Loose ball on the field. A scramble at the 45, and it appears that Frankfurt is at the bottom of the pile, and they are. Jack Kellogg on top of the ball. Dawkins lays it on the ground, our first turnover.
Take a look at this from ground level. It's another trap play, and they get a nice hole in there. And as he goes through the middle, that ball gets knocked out. I couldn't see who swatted it out, but it's on the ground, and the Galaxy are scrambling for it. Last week they had 2 chances to pick up fumbles, and they beat the ball up a little bit. So now this week they worked on that, recovering the fumble, and Kellogg was able to come up with a big one. Special K, they call it.
Here is May. Special K, you say. How about Seibert again? Daylight at the 40 to 35, inside the 30. What a huge first quarter he's enjoying. The corner, Tommy Jones, had to roll him down. At 202 pounds, Seibert Steele with a great start, explosive quickness, and look at the blocking up front.
What we're going to see is another trap play. We're going to come around and get the block right there. And actually, that wasn't a trap. It was just a cutback play. And Seibert, with a great vision, is able to see where the hole is as the Admiral defense over pursues with the big cutback, gets big yardage going down the sideline.
Had a gain of 31 on the opening possession, 19 that time. As the ball is driven inside the 25, down to the 24-yard line. We're in the first quarter. 3-0 football game, and Bobby Phillips, who we saw a lot of at the outset in London last week with his first carry of the night.
He carried it 21 times last week. Seibert didn't even get the call at all last week, and he's been the big man running the ball for these Galaxies so far. Inside this area, they like to go with a little play action.
2nd and 8. Quick kick. And that is caught and then dropped incomplete. Jason Shelley, the flanker of Central State, just dropped it. It hit him right in the hands. A quick glance at the secondary. Admirals, Robert O'Neill, as mentioned, has had a fine career in 3 seasons. Jeff Russell, Ron Carpenter, the ex-Jet, Tommy Jones, the 2 corners.
Russell's a guy that was very active last week with 8 tackles. You'll also see him returning punts and kickoffs for the Admirals.
Bailey to the bottom of your screen. Shelley from up a moment ago, up top. Which way does May go? He floats it underneath the Hitler, who is jacked at the 19-yard line shy of the first down. It is Wilmot who popped it. It was Kitts, rather, out of the backfield who made the catch, and Wilmot let him have it.
Trevor Wilmot just comes up. He's in a zone drop. You'll see him come into your picture from the side. May drops it off to Kitts. Boom. It's lights out time. Big hit from Wilmot. I'm really impressed with the way this guy plays defense. He's got his nickname is Dread. You can see the dreadlocks, and he's legitimate with this. He was born in Jamaica. Now, you'll see some other Dread guys out here, and they're kind of Dread wannabes.
Frankfurt trying to boot its 2nd field goal in as many possessions. This one hits the post, the upright on the right side. Kleiman misfires from 36. Our score remains a homestanding Galaxy by a field goal here in Frankfurt.
Pantalón.
Hey, she says nice pants. There's a nice toy.
Dark khaki.
From Sony's PlayStation come the greatest hits, all your old favorites.
Like the soft sounds of swarming missiles.
And the gentle crack of Sophia's footsteps.
Feel the hilarious antics of Sweet Tooth, that lovable clown.
All for just $24.99 each. But wait.
There's more? Oh.
That's right. The PlayStation is a mere $149. And you can also get leading titles.
Like Crash Bandicoot and Jet Moto.
For just $49.99 and less.
You are not ready.
Relax, don't do it. When you want to go through it. Relax, don't do it.
Presenting Sounds of the 80s. Now, hit all your favorite 80s hits in one dynamite collection. Get Sounds of the 80s for just $9.99 on compact disc or double-length cassette. That's more than 1 full hour of powerful hits.
There's something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Then audition other great Sounds of the 80s albums. Cancel anytime. Sounds of the 80s is not sold in stores, so call now.
To order, call 1-800-494-5959 or send just $9.99 for 1 cassette or 1 compact disc, plus $3.50 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
Amsterdam in Germany, playing in Ball Stadium with Ray Bentley. I'm Paul Kennedy. Welcome to the World League. 2nd possession for Jan Saka and the Admirals. And they'll run it inside to the man that coughed it up a moment ago, Ralph Dawkins, running behind a line that no player is weighing in at less than 307 pounds. As you see, balanced by Jerry Krafts, an NFL veteran for 4 seasons with Buffalo, Kenneth McDaniel from Viking, and Leahy out of Notre Dame. Ryan, right now under contract to Phoenix.
Jerry Kraft's so big they call him the Condo. He was up about 380 last year. He's working to get in shape. He's about 340 now, and that's a svelte 340, if you can believe that.
A pickup of a solid 5 on first down, just hitting it up inside. Now Sackett to throw. He is flush. Steps up, stays on his feet. It's tipped and nearly picked off. Sackett avoids the sack, dancing around and pounding the ground in frustration was Sean Banks, the linebacker. Here in that 3-4 scheme, Oscar Sturgis, the end, plays for J.J. in South Florida. Walker and Reynolds, the front wall.
Then Frank Mesmer steps in as the national starter, but you'll also see him in there on non-national series because this guy can play football.
Mesmer, a 290-pounder. Third down. Saka. Incomplete. And out of the outreached arms of Dedrick Smith. Looks like Little D had a shot at it. A slatting route. He'll come off, and here comes the specialty team on. John Saka, it's a fumble on 1, not his fault. And then 3 and out here in a series that he knows in the first half, he knows he must produce. Now Logan Bill has told him if he can't get it going, Mike McCoy will see action early in quarter.
We might see Mike McCoy come in. I tell you also that that third down is really hurting the Admirals. Last week, just 2 of 12, 16%, and that's not going to get it done.
Ryan Craggart puts his foot into it. Fair catch called for and made by Vernon Turner at his 35-yard line. The Galaxy with the football again. He might phone New York and see how the draft is going. Perhaps John Saka is checking in. St. Louis made that big deal with Bill Parcells and the New York Jets to take the top pick. We'll see the rest of the order, and we will update you on what takes place back in the States. Run through the 20 to 30 selections in round number 1.
Expect a lot of trading up and down throughout the draft this year. After the first couple guys, you always get a drop-off, and then it becomes a need situation for a lot of teams, and they're willing to make sacrifices to move to get into the spot that they want, take a shot at a guy.
This season marking Ernie Stautner's 47th year in the professional game. The former All-American at Boston College for a quarter century. Tom Landry's defensive coordinator for the Doomsday defense. What a job he has done here. His team in the World Bowl the last 2 years, and off and running. It's Bobby Phillips down the sideline. End zone bound. Phillips, touchdown Frankfurt. A 65-yard rumble. 9-0 Galaxy. He was a quasar down the sideline. Was Bobby Phillips.
Well, that offensive line just got a whole lot better in a big hurry.
They had worked what Ernie called 14 to 16-hour days throughout this week to rectify the problems of London. That is their first touchdown in 4 quarters since the opening quarter last week in England.
They rushed the ball well last week, actually. If you look at their stats, 114 yards on the ground, but they didn't stay with it enough. They'll stay with it after that kind of success if the extra point goes through.
Leading 10-0. This quarter close to being a perfect 10 as Phillips lunges into the end zone, tapping a 65-yard sprint.
You're going to see this guy's going to pull and lead it. The fullback's going to pull and lead it. And you're going to have unbelievable blocking. I don't believe Phillips gets touched. If he does, it's just a glancing shoulder blow. There's the puller taking on Lillibridge, knocking him down. Phillips makes the cut inside. Kitts did a great job kicking out the contain. Now it's a foot race. And Bobby Phillips is a guy you're not going to catch very often unless you got an angle. And there he is, touching it down into the end zone. Another look at it. There's a great kickout block right there by Kitts as he gets Wilmot moved outside. And he's going to make this touchdown. I want you to watch at the end of this. Bobby Phillips is going to lay this one down rugby style.
Last year, Bobby Phillips scored
there he goes.
4 touchdowns throughout the season. 3 came against Amsterdam. He always plays, he said, it seems, his best football against the Admirals.
And I mentioned that rugby because Bobby Phillips played a little rugby in this offseason, getting himself ready to come. He went over there to Australia and worked out and did a great job with that one. And I guess he learned how to do that over there, laying down that ball like that.
He is on his way, isn't he? That 65-yard run to a 100-yard rushing performance, the property of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And the pride of the Belmain Tigers down under.
Played at Virginia Union in Richmond, Virginia, in his collegiate days. Feynman, a field goal and an extra point himself, skips this one along the ground. Taken up at the 30 to the 32-yard line by the Admirals Brian Dickerson, and now Al Luganville, an offensive mind, needs to go to work.
See what the coach wants to do about this. They're having problems on the run.
Talking to his defense. Get out here.
Tommy, did you get straight run off? I know. This guy did. Yeah, okay.
Saka down as the defensive Xing and Oling takes place. Off the toss sweep, Ralph Dawkins rolled up as he comes across the 30 to the 35, rather to the 36. It's Oscar Sturgis, number 97, who makes the stop. The 280-pound left end. A secondary for Frankfurt. Chris Hall, an interception shy of equaling the World League career mark. He has a dozen, hunting his 13th. Jack Kellogg, Baron Miles will share time at the left corner. Cecil Doggett, as you saw, on the right side. Will swing pass on the dump, and Dawkins cannot get there. Frustrations continue early for Saka Dawkins.
He took a lot of pressure, and I think he got rid of this one a little quick, tried to just dump it over the top of the rush with a little bit of touch to Dawkins, led him too far. And Sean Banks, the guy putting the heat on there for the Galaxy, but Saka not getting off to a good start, and I know that's got to concern Al Luganville as well.
Saka 0 for 4 in the air right now, and on the ground, the Admirals with all of 8 yards rushing. This is their third possession. Saka under pressure, gives up the football. They said his arm was in motion. It is an incomplete pass. The referee, Mike Ferraro, right there. Don Reynolds out of Virginia was pressuring the right end. That's 0 for 5 for Saka, and Reynolds and Frankfurt will get the football right back, leading 10-0.
He's a career leader in sacks, 9.5. Here he is. He's going to come and just beat his man on the outside move. Move from the inside on a little twist move is what confused him. But Reynolds comes free and puts a wall up, and Saka's not able to get it off.
Flags down. The clock stopped. And rather than... Let's see here. Mike will sort it out.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Against the kicking team, 5 yards, still 4th down.
So the frustrations evident a week ago at home in that beautiful new Amsterdam arena continue now here into the first quarter in Frankfurt. Vernon Turner, single safety. He had an outstanding NFL tenure with Tampa Bay. Really skilled at returning kicks. He can pick up a wall if he can get to the 20. He does. Back to the 25. Close to picking up the wall as he ran to the far side of the field. In the World League, there are some significant differences than the NFL. Most notably, a field goal of 50 yards or more, Ray, will be, yes, 4 points rather than 3.
Also, the defense can score on what they call a deuce. If you take that extra point try, block a kick, or if they go for 2, you can stop them and take it and go the distance the other way. You'll get 2 points out of that.
On one hand, we play with a collegiate pace, a 35-second play clock. On the other hand, unlike college, you must have, more like the NFL, to parallel it, both feet in bounds.
Ineligible man downfield of the kicking team before the ball was kicked, number 64. 64. 5 yards, still 4th down.
64 is Ryan Leahy out of Notre Dame, who left early. And we will have to do this again. Ryan is the man snapping the ball, too. Back to the Carolina Panthers, Ryan Graggart. Turner moves up close to his 30 to field Graggart's punt. Oh, he just did get that one away. Bounds along the ground. Turner will dance away from it. The ball will be whistled dead at the 27-yard line with less than 4 minutes remaining in our first quarter. 10-0. Frankfurt with bright smiles already here in what is annually one of the great settings for the World League, Ray. A party beforehand, and it's a raucous setting during the game. Bald Stadium.
And it's almost packed here, and great fans here. They know what the game of American football is all about. They were out here several hours prior to game time getting ready at the power party, and then you see just about everybody in these stands has got some sort of Galaxy gear on, whether it be a hat, do-rag, or jersey. They really support the team here in Frankfurt.
We will be presenting the Ray Bentley Face Painting Award, both at halftime and at the conclusion of tonight's game. Vernon Turner carries there. Out of Carson Newman, a man who's been around the NFL, looks in Tampa Bay and Detroit most recently with the Carolina Panthers.
Vernon Turner can play wide receiver, and you'll see him out there. He also plays a little tailback, and he's the guy that will return all the kicks for the Galaxy.
Second down. Motion on both sides. So Vince Morrow at the bottom of your picture jump.
I think that's Nate Miller that drew him off. Left guard for the Galaxy, and now they're trying to get him settled down there is Big Sean Harper, free agent out of Indiana.
See that game face on Chad May? The eyes, the intensity on Chad May, the quarterback for Frankfurt.
He felt he had something to prove coming in here this week.
Fires to the snap. False start. Number 55 of the offense, 5 yards, still second down.
55 is Nate Miller for Frankfurt.
He's going to draw Troy Ridgely off. Ridgely's made a little move, and
you can't do that.
Miller countered it, and yeah, I can see why they're upset now. And then they're going to go after him a little bit. That's when you need the cavalry to come rally and help you out. But May's not going to stand to take that, and he gives Ridgely a little push there, and then he's not going to take it, and pretty soon it goes away.
Out of bounds. Up at the 42-yard line. That is a completed pass. John Morton with his first grab of this football game. And May's solid first quarter continues. May 4 for 5 through the air.
I think that rustling that he took from Ridgely got Chad May fired up a little bit, woke up the competitor in him, and he's going to let him have it.
May now slips, gets back up, and is belted down at the 35-yard line. On his back, Lamar Mills there as well. Ronnie Wolford. May is dropped for the third time in this first quarter.
Well, it looked like he had something going. He had plenty of time to throw this ball, but when he slips, that's when things break down. You see him set up, that left foot goes out from under him. Now he's scrambling, trying to get up and get a chance to get rid of the ball, but Wolford keeps on the rush. He's able to beat his man in time to get another big sack on Chad May.
That's a good number for the Admiralty. It's too early again. Flags down. Wilmot with the pick. This will be brought back. He'll race into the end zone. That is a touchdown. Now the whistles. Wilmot himself knows that prior to the snap, Ronnie Wolford was in the Galaxy backfield. Making a habit out of that, Mr. Bentley, isn't it?
Yeah, that you can't do, because what happens is you'll get the guy coming right here, and he's going to go early on him, and now you got problems, because you could get a big play defensively, and like they just did, and it's going to come back. On the other side, offensively, Chad May is thinking he can do just about what he wants to because it's a free play.
Defense, number 59, 5 yards, still second down.
Just aggression. He'll leave the game now. Played for Frankfurt, as mentioned, last year, out of Colorado. The fifth penalty, the first quarter, has less than 2 minutes remaining in it, against Amsterdam. On second down for May, following the sack. May steps up and now is flipped down. Down he goes at the 38-yard line. That is the third sack for Gary Howe. And Howe.
Dan Howe with his third sack of the day already. And that one, he's right in front of the official. You can't hardly see him there. But he's going to continue with his rush. Here he is right there in the middle. And he's not really getting a lot of penetration, but he's staying home, staying in his lane. And then he gets the leg whip sack right there. And that's the third one on the game for Howe, having a big one already.
Broke in with Pittsburgh, has played with Cincinnati and the Colts. And now May, the clock winding down, will take the first time out
Frankfurt
of this football game. 1:27 remaining in our first quarter. Frankfurt with the Ralph Kleinman 39-yard field goal. The first points this evening, and then Bobby Phillips racing around the left end, 65 yards for his second touchdown of the season. The extra point, it's 10-zip.
And they're going to talk it over right there. Third down was a problem last week for Frankfurt, connecting on just 4 of 16 for 25% as we listen in on what's going on over there.
You're right, 64.
Blitz now. They got to have blitz pickup on them, right?
Chad May, last season the understudy to both Warren Moon and the NFL's newest multimillionaire, Brad Johnson, in Minnesota.
He felt he learned a lot from both those guys, particularly from Warren Moon, the way he approached the ball game. Not a guy that gets worked up a whole lot. And also Brad Johnson recommended to Chad May that he come over here and continue a career here to get the reps. And that'll give him the looks and the breaks and the experience to succeed eventually in the NFL.
And Brad Johnson, a player for Bobby Bowden at Florida State that didn't see a lot of action on the varsity, worked his way up the system, as Chad May was telling us yesterday, and now will be the man in Minnesota. Warren Moon goes to Seattle, and who's to say in a couple of years, as May gets a fresh start with the Cardinals, that he's not in a similar situation.
May thought he could have been the guy that was in Brad Johnson's shoes right now. He wants to prove that here.
May looks downfield and releases, and that is caught. Holding on to it across midfield at the 45-yard line. The catch made by Vernon Turner. He took quite a shot from Jeff Russell after making the catch.
Russell made the big hit on him, but Turner goes down. He gets the sticks. The key here is the protection. They got a little stunt going. House coming outside, bearing down. Good job of picking it up in that backfield. And with the big catch, he's able to make the sticks. And that was Bobby Phillips with a key pickup on that as he caught Gary Howe coming around the corner looking for his 4th sack. Phillips, good job in there protecting the quarterback.
An 18-yard gain. May with a fresh set of downs. Skips it up incomplete. Hunting the tall target of Vince Morrow, the tight end, on the far sideline. He's out of the University of Toledo. About 5 years ago, he was playing for the Buffalo Bills. Off and on, he's worn the red, white, and blue.
Drafted in the 11th round in the 91 draft with the Bills. Played in 93 and 94. Only played his senior year in college ball with the Toledo Rockets and had a couple of catches last week for 20 yards.
5 completions for number 5 in May. Good for 70 yards. Here comes the blitz. Wilmot coming. And they run it to Turner behind the blitz. Turner with the first down. Turner inside the 20, out of bounds. 17-yard line. Vernon Turner. Robert O'Neill, the free safety, pushes him across the chop.
Turner with another nice run. You're going to see we're going to get a little trap action here. And Turner's going to come in and make a good cut outside to bust. There's a little trap block. He turns it up inside. There's really no one to hit. They had him fooled so much with the blitz. As the Admirals trying to get upfield, Turner finds the seam, a little shake and bake move there, and then cutting to the sideline. Another big running play for the Galaxy.
Yeah, 65-yard score for Phillips. Tried 27 yards here for Vernon Turner. Well, May stepped up to call timeout as the first quarter clock was looking.
That's the end of the first
quarter. As if it was going to end.
The first quarter.
And it is over. The first quarter belongs nearly exclusively to Frankfurt. They lead 10-0 over Al Loganville and the Admirals.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef. You don't need fins to swim under it. You don't need wings to fly over it. You don't need 4 legs to run through it. But you just might need to bring this. Because Reef Watch Air Tours, Wild Track Jeep Safaris, and Pro Sail Schooners will take you on the ride of your life. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun.
Presenting Sounds of the 70s. All your favorite 70s hits in one fantastic collection. Get Sounds of the 70s for just $9.99 on compact disc or double-length cassette. That's 22 fabulous hits.
What kind of feeling? Rock me gently, rock me slowly. Billy, don't be a hero, don't be a fool with your life.
Then audition other great Sounds of the 70s albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. So call now. To order Sounds of the 70s, call 1-800-608-4499 or send $9.99 for cassette or CD, plus $3.50 shipping to Sounds of the 70s, Department 16, Richmond, Virginia.
Ball Stadium in Frankfurt this evening greets you. We start the second quarter. The Galaxy at home with the lead and first and 10 inside the 20-yard line. And the toss sweep. Vernon Turner with the move. Cannot get outside. Coming off that 27-yard run a moment ago. The ground game dominated in our first 15 minutes this evening by Frankfurt, due in large measure to that front line that has been retooled following the loss last week. Look at these rushing yards.
You want to talk retooling? Look right here, those rushing yards, incredible for one quarter. And Frankfurt's just blowing them away. 217 total yards already.
Collins and Harper the tackles, Miller the Falcon, Bailey on the right side the guards, and Joe Garden out of Colorado the center. May throws it into the end zone, incomplete. Perhaps some confusion. Vernon Hippler, who is there. Bailey in the vicinity as well. The two receivers, the same point in the field. That's not supposed to happen.
No, I think there was probably a mistake on the route right there. May tried to force it in. He's fortunate because there's three Admirals right around that area that he didn't get it tipped around and maybe picked off. But with the incomplete now, it puts him in that third and long situation again, and they'd like to come up with more than just the 3 points in this drive.
May on third down. At the line of scrimmage, he arrives there and will take the timeout. The play clock was very close to expiring. In the red zone, so important that a team convert here in the World League and in the National Football League as well.
Yeah, this is where you win or lose a ball game. The red zone, for those of you who aren't aware of this terminology, 20 yards to the goal line going in. And the reason they call red, because it's a red alert. Things happen so much faster in the red zone. You see a lot more man-to-man coverage. You see a lot more blitzing from the defense. And offensively, you try and work some quick moves where you rub people off and get the ball out quick and get something going in that critical red zone.
Now, that would be the party zone.
Yes, as opposed to the red zone.
That is correct.
And they have it going on in the party zone here. As you see, there's some face paint that I like.
You like that?
That guy knows what he's doing.
Wait a second. Here's what they're saying now. Okay, you want to go with Trick? I'm going back to the 80 of Chicago. Here we're going to play one side. Why don't we leave 11? You go over the cat.
Coach on your left, Rod Humanick, brought in by Ernie Stotner to help with that offensive line.
He's been in the NFL forever with the New England Patriots as their offensive coordinator back when they went to the Super Bowl after the '85 season. He's a guy that came in. Ernie needed him. His national coach, coaching the offensive line, Alessandro Sinelli, had some health problems. Humanick came in and is going to benefit everybody as being a part of this offense with all of his experience in the NFL.
There is a timeout taken now by Amsterdam and Al Luganville. The 10th play of the drive set to unfold when we return to Frankfurt.
That is a 30-second timeout. A 30-second timeout.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free. They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free, while the rest of the week they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free, only from Sprint Business.
Well, Visa Gold bought you the clubs and the clothes and 3 rounds at breathtaking Pebble Beach. The one thing it couldn't buy you was a single decent shot.
I quit. Finish without me.
I can't. Those were my clubs.
Fortunately, it had enough purchasing power for your next set of clothes.
Graphite.
Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
Saturday night in April in Frankfurt, Germany. Hey, the Galaxy must be in town, and they have a wonderful night for their home opener. And the home team is playing very well, facing third down now, and you see a single timeout in their pocket. May, 3 receivers. It includes Travis Hanna, the former Oiler. He wants to go toward the end zone. It's in and out of the hands, though, of Jason Shelley at the 10-yard line. Incomplete.
They had 3 wide receivers out there on the right. They ran the inside 2 guys deep to run off the coverage, try to get Shelley in underneath of what they call a China route. China because it's underneath on the other side of the world. And unfortunately, it was thrown a little high. That's
we
what
have
they
any
call
Chinese
it.
players here? We have just about every other nation represented.
Yes, we have as close as we can get is Japan. We have a couple of Japanese players for the Admirals.
Kleiman for his second field goal of this game from 37 yards out with plenty of leg. And he's good again. The lead builds. It mounts to 13-0. Tony Fresh was signed by Ernie Stotner and Tom Landry from Germany about 25 years ago with the Dallas Cowboys. A true German and what Ernie says might be the original international player. And here he keeps a national player in Kleiman as his kicker rather than having 2 as most teams in the World League do.
Well, I think Ernie is the original national player, having been born in Germany. I think you called him that earlier this week, Paul, and aptly so. But you're right, he used to take Tom Landry back here, and they would scout the soccer teams in Europe looking for a kicker. Tony Frisch, one of the guys that they brought back early, might have been, I believe, the first soccer-style kicker in the National Football League. He had a wonderful career with the Dallas Cowboys, where Ernie and Tom Landry, all they did was win a few Super Bowls while they were at it there.
11 plays, capped by Ralph Kleiman's second field goal of the game. In his 3rd season here, he used to play for the Cologne Crocodiles in the German league. There's the Dusseldorf Panthers, the Cologne Crocodiles, a number of teams in Germany.
Munich Cowboys, I believe.
They compete for both the German championship and then in the Euro Bowl.
Yes, believe it or not, American football is becoming quite popular in Europe, and particularly in Germany. They love it here, as you can tell by the crowd that we have on hand here tonight.
We're curious as if we will see Mike McCoy at quarterback shortly for the Admirals, who have struggled on offense. Saka yet to complete a pass. This is taken by Ron Carpenter, who comes across the 30, shy of the 40-yard line. You'll recall a couple of years ago, he led the NFL in kickoff returns, did Carpenter, the anemic Admirals. Their struggles last week, and we will point out that came at the hands of the Scottish Claymores, who won the league crown in 1996.
And have a very tough defense. However, I don't know if it's tough defense or anemic Admiral offense creating the problems here for these Admirals. They really need to get something going this series, or they're facing a blowout here. 13-0 already, the Galaxy, with just 13 minutes left here in the first half.
We do have a new quarterback. It is Mike McCoy out of the University of Utah at the helm. Inside handoff there is nowhere for Brent Moss, the former Wisconsin Badger star, to go. So our first look at Mike McCoy. He's on Green Bay's practice squad a couple of seasons ago. Has not played a great deal professionally, but collegiately, what a star he was for the Utes in the Western Athletic Conference.
Al Luganville, talking about him last night, said McCoy might not have the tools of another guy out there, but you can't tell him that. One thing he does have is a lot of confidence. He believes he can get it done here, and he's going to get his chance right now.
A gain of perhaps a yard on the play. Moss in the backfield. They throw to the sideline. It is caught. The tight end, John Davis. He signed most recently by Tony Dungy's Tampa Bay Buccaneers out of Emporia State in Kansas. There's the first completion of the game for Amsterdam, and it sets up third, and we'll call it 3.
Big John Davis is a guy that's an H-back type. He can play linebacker, I'm sorry, tight end. He could probably play linebacker too, but he plays tight end, a little fullback. Last week caught 4 balls for 33 yards, and John Sackett described him as the best offensive player for these Admirals.
The lone setback is Moss. McCoy under pressure. Unloads it. It is tapped. It bangs off a Frankfurt defender and then looks to be caught by a lineman.
I think Ron Lewis came up with that one. Might be his first career reception.
May want the ball, the former Washington Redskin. And that looks like a receiver, huh? Yeah. Is that the body of a receiver?
Well, they call him Big Nasty. And I guess looking at him, you might figure out why. But this ball, first of all, that's number 57, Hillary Butler on the rush. The ball gets bounced around, and it falls into the hands of big Ron Lewis, and he stumbles and bumbles and rumbles and gets a couple yards.
Turner signals his teammates away from the bounding punt, which will finally be exhausted at the 17-yard line. From the 17, we have timeout on the field in Ball Stadium in Frankfurt. And now, as you see, a penalty, the holding call against Amsterdam.
They'll probably make him re-kick. Oftentimes you improve your field position, plus that cover team is a little tired. The last thing you want to do is cover 2 kicks in a row, and it gives that receiver and that returner another chance.
The kick, holding on number 40 of the kicking team, 10 yards, repeat 4th down.
A holding call on Dion Lambert. Ernie's all fired up. Yeah, that's what I'm amazed about this man. And Al Luganville, his counterpart, for Ernie Stantner, enshrined in the Hall of Fame back in '69. Vince Lombardi was still in the league coaching when Ernie went to Canton. Again, the bounding kick. Turner has not had a lot of opportunities to show his skills. And now, timeout, 11-11 remaining. And our score, Stantner and company with the double-digit lead.
It's the largest set ever built. The largest set ever destroyed.
Somebody tell me what the hell is going on?
There are going to be a million dead people if we don't evacuate.
Sunday on FX.
Put as many people in front of it as it takes.
Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche take you behind the scenes.
This is no good. Get out of here.
As one of Hollywood's hottest motion pictures explodes. It's the making of Volcano. Sunday at 7:30 on FX.
I don't use a blindfold in games. Makes it hard to run the bases.
This Monday, the New York Yankees take on the Chicago White Sox, or Toronto meets Anaheim, only on FX.
I'm Jackie Joyner-Kersee, and I have asthma, but it hasn't kept me from setting 4 world records because I control my asthma every day. And even if you think you have your asthma under control, you should call the Asthma Control Program from Glaxo Wellcome. They'll send you a free kit full of the latest information to help you understand and manage your asthma better. You'll get lots of useful tools, including a 4-step program that can help you prevent attacks before they occur. And best of all, you'll receive updated information as soon as it's available.
Many asthma patients, including you, can become symptom-free if you follow the daily treatment plan your doctor prescribes. And the Asthma Control Program from Glaxo Wellcome can help. So call 1-800-328-9207 right now.
The sooner you get with the program and stick with the program, the sooner you can take control of your asthma. I don't let asthma control my life, and you don't have to let it control yours either.
Here's your World League invitation to travel with us to Scotland tomorrow. The reigning World Bowl champion Claymores under Coach Jim Kreiner hosting surprising quarterback John Kentner and the Barcelona Dragons. 3 o'clock tomorrow, British Standard Time, the Claymores and the Dragons. Here tonight between Frankfurt, Hall Stadium, and visiting Amsterdam. Look at those numbers. A 197-yard surplus for the Galaxy.
They're running away from Amsterdam right now, literally.
Evenly distributed between a trio of running backs. Kitts up front will lead Seibert through the hole and rips it for 7. Ingo Seibert set the tone for this game. Carry of 31, a later carry of 16. He has been a major surprise and truly reflects the growing improvement of the talent level, the competency of the international player.
Seibert lives the game. He's a guy that year-round will train. He's got that year-round mentality. You look at him, over 10 yards a carry right now. His father was a physical fitness trainer, put him on a strict diet and a workout, and you can see it's paying off for him.
He'll get it again. This time much tougher. The ball is on the ground. The ball looks to be recovered and is by Amsterdam. Seibert with the fumble.
Trevor Wilmot, Dredd, comes up with that one. Had 11 tackles last week with the Colts in 1995, their training camp. And Al Luganville talking about Wilmot, said this guy was the best guy in the draft. He took him in the 2nd round.
So the turnover comes at Frankfurt's end of the field, and here again is how it happened.
See what happens. I think Seibert ran into his own man. That's big number 71, Sean Harper. And when he hit him, it knocked the ball loose onto the ground. And the opportunistic Trevor Wilmot comes up with the big turnover for the Admirals. Maybe this will jumpstart him.
Robert Hall, a quarterback until tonight, atop your screen, activated as a wide receiver. McCoy throws it underneath and short. Through a tackle is Brent Moss. Brent Moss down to the 30. Is Brent Moss close to being the same dynamic talent he was a few seasons ago when he led Wisconsin to the Rose Bowl and then played for the Rams?
Well, that's what we're here to find out, and that's what he's here to find out. As you see him catch this one right over the middle. Good job right here of avoiding the tackle. Coming up was Andre Bowden, number 51, but Moss shakes him loose and gets enough yardage for a 1st down. There's a look at Brent right there.
A troubled young man in years gone by, trying to straighten out his life to the far sideline. And there is the catch by Robert Hall, and now incomplete. It hit the ground. Robert Hall, a talented athlete, a former All-Southwestern Conference quarterback at Texas Tech, shifted to wide receiver just to get his skills, his speed on the field.
Well, the speed, that's the key when you talk about Robert Hall. This guy's got jets. He can burn it up, and he's also an excellent athlete, so they had to find a spot for him to get him on the field, being the 3rd quarterback, moved him over to wide receiver, and he's been productive for him.
Remember when another number 7, Joe Theismann, couldn't get on the field. Remember, behind Jurgensen and Taylor? Return kicks. Quick trap to Moss. Moss dances outside, inside the 25. 1st down, 15. Moss down the sidelines, inside the 5. Although say he stepped out close to the 9-yard line. That burst of speed by Brent Moss, who last week carried the ball for all of 2 yards. Here,
you're going to see
has him set up inside the 10.
You're going to see a trap block right here, and Moss gets up in there and hits the hole, and then slides it outside. And now you see the speed as he runs away from the safety. Hall coming up to try and catch, and actually that's Johnny Dixon coming up trying to catch him. finally Kellogg was able to push him out of bounds, but that looked like the old Brent Moss right there.
2 carries, 22 yards, 21 on that one. Give it to him again, and he is tripped up. Upended. Reaching appeared to be Sean Banks, the linebacker. Banks is a mathematician. He has a mathematics degree.
Well, he's
brawn and brain.
He's adding up the tackles. He had 13 last week. You've seen a few from this week as you look at the ground level action here. If he doesn't get this hand and his hand out to trip up Moss, you know, he could be going off to the races again. Good penetration. Banks coming on a blitz with the big play on that one.
Drafted by the Bengals was Banks last season. Second down here. McCoy. His head as he releases. That is called incomplete. It is an incomplete pass. Although spreading downfield is is Andre Bowden. Home, it'll be brought back. An incomplete pass.
Yeah, I don't blame Bowden a bit. You get a chance to run to the end zone, whether or not they're going to call it incomplete.
Frank Mesmer there, number 99, with the big hit on McCoy, just unloading. Mesmer from
Here's
Cologne.
Mesmer, right over here. You're going to watch him with a nice rush. He's going to beat him with an outside move, the hands on, the slap, and then actually it was a bust as the Amsterdam right tackle tried to come inside to help out. Mesmer with the big hit. They're going to bring this one back. They say the arm was coming forward, and we can make your own judgment on that. Swatted it right out of the hands. That could go either way, that call. But Andre Bowden picked it up, and he didn't mind running the 60 yards for nothing to get into that end zone, because you don't get that taste very often as a defensive football player.
Mesmer, you see an injured player down on the field. Shake it up. That's number 93, David Webb, out of Southern California. Here's a guy that likes to paint his face too there, Ray.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that, but now that you did, yes, he did. David Webb used to paint his face a little bit back at USC. Used to get the guys pretty fired up. Webb's out here playing, trying to get back into the big league. This guy's pretty quick, got good speed, 4.6 in the 40 coming out of USC. He was with Scotland last year, won himself a World Bowl championship race.
A score would be huge here. A score of any shape or form. McCoy. Moss provides him some time. McCoy on the roll, pulls it down. He'll be taken down. And it's ruled that the ball hit the ground. He was down before he lost it. He is sacked and dropped. Hillary Butler celebrating the sack.
Great job by Hillary Butler on this one. Coming on the blitz. You can see him. Butler, number 57. Yeah, we can't see him, so we'll just let it run. But Bailey is the guy that comes up. There he is right there. You can see him coming in your screen now. He starts out in coverage, sees the quarterback scramble, comes up on the close, on the rush, almost knocks the ball loose, but big play forcing Amsterdam now to attempt the field goal.
The field goal by Oliver Quas out of Troy State. This of 34 yards by Quas with enough leg and accurate too. So finally Amsterdam, have they sailed through the rough seas. The Admirals on the board for the first time. 13-3. Oliver Quas knocks it home.
And Al Luganbill's over there leading the cheers. He's happy to see his team get on the board, maybe develop some confidence. They moved the ball pretty well with McCoy in there, and then Brent Moss woke up, had a couple of nice runs to spark that drive, one on a 3rd and long, the other one he busted a trap up the middle. And if he can carry this offense, they can get a little confidence. We can get the Admirals back into this ball game.
Luganbill's team with just 2 field goals in 2 weeks of play.
Hey, you understand we're slamming, okay? We're slamming the twist out. Right, cut.
Allen, his 3rd season in Amsterdam. 2 years ago, they won the league crown.
Yeah, Al Luganbill does a great job, and he, I tell you, a couple of players who started last week were sent packing this past week. He sent a message to his team. We're going to have to work a little harder and get a little better. And they've been able to do that. I believe they've improved over last week, particularly now with McCoy in at quarterback. Moved the team smartly. Moss getting a chance to carry the ball. Seemed like a different team there.
Well, Al realizes this is a very short season, relative terms. 10 weeks. One cannot afford to lose too many games, especially early in the year, and hope to compete for the World Bowl championship. On the return from his 12-yard line, turner out to the 20 already and dropped on his backside at the 25. Good special teams tackle on the hustle. Rich Yurkovich. That's his second tackle on kickoffs. You mentioned the World Bowl format. You see that's really 2 seasons, Ray. The first 5 weeks and then the second 5.
And the most important being the first 5 weeks, because the winner, the team with the best record after those 5 weeks will host the World Bowl. And then, of course, after that, it'd be the team with the best record or the second best overall record if the team that won the first half still has the best record. But that's how it shapes up. That's how you get your World Bowl competitors.
Competitor in his own right, especially at Kansas State. Chad May unloads, and that is caught. Jason Shelley reaching out with the right arm, close to the first down marker, and near it, upfield at his own 35-yard line. Shelley, one-time Washington Husky, pretty solid, I thought, in week 1 against London. He made 3 catches.
Did a good job there. What happened with that, Ron Carpenter playing corner for the Admirals gave him plenty of cushion. So he just turns it around, and on timing, May delivers the ball there and then lets Shelley do a little shake and bake move. Almost picked up the sticks on a first down.
Yeah, you see those 35 yards, too, recorded in London. Against a 4-man front. Second and very short. Pump fake for May. He floats it down the boundary. And he overshoots Shelley. Stride for stride with him was Tommy Jones, the corner, the former Toronto Argonaut, who has some professional football experience. He had him well defended.
Let's take a look at Shelley on this pattern. This is just your hook and go. He's going to hook it up, try and bring that defender up in, which they did a little bit. Too much of a cushion, but if this ball's on time here, Shelley could have a big play. I bet that they'll come back to that before it's over.
Out of Fresno State, it's Tommy Jones. And May facing 3rd and short as Shelley checks out of the lineup.
That 2nd and short like they had there is a good time to try something like that. You know, you're going to have 2 shots here to pick up your first down with just inches to go for that first down. So why not try something, fake them out a little bit. Maybe you get a cheap one, go deep, and get a nice big 17-point lead heading into halftime.
There's a pause in the action at the moment.
Coaching headsets are off on both sides.
And both Ernie Stotner and his staff, Al Luganville for Amsterdam, will have to take off their headsets. Kitts and Phillips in the backfield. And May for the first down.
Little quarterback sneak. They didn't need a whole lot. So May just takes it on a quick count. A lot of times you'll try to do that. You'll either do that or you'll stagger that count, try to draw somebody offside. This time they went with the quick count. May puts his head down, gets the necessary yard to get him 1st and 10 one more time.
We had told you earlier about that game in Scotland tomorrow with Barcelona coming to town. Stoney Case is playing for Barcelona. He is also under contract to the Phoenix Cardinals, as is Chad May. And both will be competing for a roster spot behind the designated starter now in Kent Graham.
That's their 3rd and final timeout.
They're both in this league preparing, competing for what's going to happen in the fall.
Should be interesting. I'm wondering how much their World League, how well they do in these World League games will determine where they stack up when they come back for the Arizona Cardinals, because this is, obviously they're both over here to be evaluated, and I think you maybe can get an edge by producing here.
You get 500 snaps.
Chad May has produced so far today.
We were saying he is here for the 500 snaps of experience. 50 plays a game times 10 weeks, and perhaps the World Bowl. And if you're Stoney Case with John Kitna, a major surprise, the Seattle Seahawks playing so well last week to lead Barcelona to the win. Stoney Case is not getting the snaps. He's standing on the sideline.
Yeah, he may not get any snaps if John Kitna continues to play the way he did in the opener for Barcelona last week.
Chad May says it just feels good to have the adrenaline going again in a game situation. How well does he throw the ball this time? He airs it out for Shelley. Shelley leaps and cannot come down with the football at the 14-yard line. Ron Carpenter was there, the other corner this time, as both corners have been tested by May deep with Shelley.
Looked to me like Shelley stops his route a little bit here. If he keeps running, he's going to catch this ball in full stride and end up in the end zone. See if we can pick it up. Watch how he kind of slows up right there and then has to jump for the ball. Now, had he just kept running, as you look at the ISO shot, I'm here, he's running away from Carpenter. If he keeps running, see, he slows up and then has to leap for the ball. If he doesn't break stride, he could be break dancing in the end zone right now.
Flags and now whistles. We'll stop this play. You will hear this evening whistles periodically that are not from the officials. They are from the fans.
Well,
thousands of fans with whistles in the stands.
Right, and they have a tradition here. And if you've seen any major tennis events, you see when they think a ball is out that should have been called in, you'll hear the fans whistle. So that's what they do here. Rather than boo, you will hear the whistles. So it's not a good thing.
Play was live. Offside in the neutral zone at the snap, number 57, 5 yards, still second down.
It could as easily have been Lamar Mills as well as Cedric Figueroa.
Well, as big as Mills is, it's hard to stay onside.
Take your pick.
Got a little early start, as did the other guy on the other side. So that costly penalty, I guess, rather than an incomplete. Pick up 5 yards.
Mario Bailey has touched the ball once. He's to the top of your screen. Shelley, near side, they trap inside and hopping through across midfield. Inside the 45, Phillips down close to the 40-yard line. Larry McSee, the linebacker, had to knock him down. It's a first down for Frankfurt.
Bobby Phillips coming. Watch how quick he hits this hole. Again, the trap play. It just busts right through it. Now it's secondary time. He's looking to make his move on the safety. He's finally chased down by McSee on that. Excellent, again, running game for these Frankfurt Galaxy. Really turned up a notch this week.
21 on that carry, better than 80 yards tonight. On his way to 100, and we are yet to reach halftime. Test the left side. He's inside the 40. Down to the 37-yard line for Phillips.
First time we've seen that wrinkle tonight, a counter OT where you pull a couple of guys, try and fake them going to the right that time and then back to the left, and you got some big bodies leading you up into the hole as Phillips hits the 87-yard mark, matching what he had last week in the opener.
He says he is a far more dedicated football player than he has been in years gone by. It's funny how that happens when you get into your later 20s. He is 27. As a new son, he says he's very focused, and his quarterback in May bites the turf for the 4th time in the first half. It was Mike Evans, defensive lineman, getting off of him. Troy Ridgely out of Notre Dame there as well.
I think that was a mix-up that time. You're going to see, look at the guy over the center right here. Yeah, it was a mix-up that time between Phillips and Chad May. They didn't know what was going on. Anytime you see the quarterback holding the ball, the back's already gone, and he's looking around, you know you have a mix-up and some confusion in the backfield.
So May, on 3rd down, sets up at midfield. He has thrown deep twice, and this time throws short for Shelley, and it was too high to handle. And in front of Jeff Russell as well. I don't want to get with my back toward Jeff Russell.
No, and you might see Mr. Shelley come back and have a word with Chad May, asking him about, you don't want to keep me out to dry like that. As he does, watch Russell come up. He's going to have a free shot at the back of Shelley on this. That ball just gets away from a little too high, and then there you go. There's your punishment.
2 punts. Here is Scott Player off the Florida State campus. Fair catch called for and made by Jeff Russell, sure-handed at the 11-yard line. So near their own goal line. As May puts on the headset, Amsterdam will own the football once again, and things could be worse.
Well,
as much as May has dominated the first 2 quarters.
They could be worse on the scoreboard, but Amsterdam got a little offensive momentum last time they had the ball. Mike McCoy coming in at quarterback. And you see Coach Luganville trying to get him going over there. Came in at quarterback, Did a decent job, got him into field goal position, got him on the scoreboard. We'll see how he does.
You're coming down hard into the A-gap. They're running trap.
McCoy on first down. Inside handoff, spinning Ralph Dawkins. Right back to the line of scrimmage. David Webb is all right. Shaken up earlier, you'll recall, in this quarter. Back to his feet. A number of allocated players, of course, mandated in the World League. This year, a record number, more than 100, assigned by the 30 NFL teams.
And it grows each year, and this has really turned into a developmental league for the National Football League. And I think that's why you see the quality of football getting better each year here in the World League.
McCoy, 2nd and 10. Unloads over the middle, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted. Slanting over the middle, in and out of the hands of the intended target, A.C. Tellison. Chris Hall was hunting what would have been his 13th career INT.
Tellison's going to cross the middle of your screen, and this ball is right in his hands. He's got to catch this one. Pops it out. Hall almost able to pick it up. Johnny Dixon. And then McCoy gets rattled around a little bit after he lets this one go. I think that's the first taste that he's had of physical activity out there, of somebody hitting on him again.
3rd down. He's at 3 and out. Can they convert? McCoy steps up under heat, looking for a receiver, and now sacked back at the 5-yard line. Dropped by Don Reynolds. Reynolds gets to him.
2nd sack of the night for Don Reynolds. Doing a great job staying with his rush, because McCoy did a good job of avoiding this rush and getting himself free to try and throw it downfield. But he doesn't have any receiver open. That's a classic coverage sack right there.
Less than 2 minutes to go in our first half. And it's Frankfurt with the double-digit lead.
Whenever there's a say hello, whenever there's a touch and shake will follow, whenever there's a laugh and chew, whenever there's it's the groove that we do. With the TK, or the pop the top, it's a long way to speed, the fast that won't stop. Always Coca-Cola. Looking for love. With just a glance it happened. Love came looking for me. Get out of my way.
Dockers, khaki. You know that feeling you get with ordinary contact lenses? It's the buildup of dirt and deposits.
Tell them about the free contacts.
I'm getting there, hon. Then I called Johnson & Johnson at 1-800-701-5800 and got a free trial pair of AccuView from my doctor. AccuView always gives me the comfort of fresh new lenses. If you want a free pair, call 1-800-701-5800.
That's toll-free.
It is? It's free. The call is free, and so is the free trial pair. Oh, and if you call now, you save $10 off your purchase price and $10 later, so you can really clean up.
I love this next part.
Please? Which is a good idea, since this is what an ordinary contact lens looks like after just a few months. But with AccuView, you'll always get fresh new lenses.
And the doctors.
Maybe that's why AccuView is the lens prescribed most often by doctors. Mr. Curtis? Including yours.
Wait, but they know about the free pair?
They know.
Oh, and the savings. $10 now, $10 later?
They know. Change to AccuView for more comfortable contacts. Call 1-800-701-5800.
Eric Clemens back at our FX studios in New York. Coming up on the Dockers halftime report. That's right, I'll be joined by the big guy to my left, Orlando Pace, the top overall draft selection of the St. Louis Rams. We're going to talk a little football and draft when we come back after the first half of the game. Let's join Paul and Ray back in Frankfurt. Guys?
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. It's a lovely evening here in Germany in April. Wish you were here. Glad to have you worldwide tonight. As Prager punts it away to Vernon returner, as he calls for the fair catch. It's what you used to call him in Buffalo. Well, the pressure up front. Don Reynolds had a huge play last year, a pick in the end zone, the defensive tackle, and here a nice sack.
There's Don Reynolds right there. And watch, this is actually excellent protection for Amsterdam. There is no pressure, just a four-man rush. They're keeping people in, but there's no one to throw to. This is your classic coverage sack. Nowhere to go. Reynolds, to his credit, stays with the rush, and finally he's able to get McCoy down inside the 5-yard line, which gives now the Galaxy excellent field position going into here before half.
Reynolds with that interception last week in week 10 to send Frankfurt into the World Bowl, the victory over Amsterdam. On the ground, Phillips started right, nowhere to go, cut back to his left, and is dropped.
First time all night they've been able to stop that trap play. That time Mike Evans did an excellent job of getting upfield, making Phillips try to bounce it outside, then Evans stays with it and gets a piece of the tackle as well.
Defensive front, a little bit of motion. Motion up front. Mike Evans, former Michigan Wolverine, number 97, made just 1 for 6 through the air in this quarter. Second stanza not as effective as the first one. Doesn't get much better there. Dropped by Bobby.
Bobby Phillips drops this one. You're going to see him come right across the middle. He's releasing out of the back. He's going to have man-to-man coverage from the linebacker, so he's got a chance if he catches this ball. And now Chad May is going to react a little bit upset to this one, as his man should have caught the ball. And there it is. You hate to see him drop when they're that easy like that. He had a couple last week, I think, that maybe got to him a little bit. And he sees a guy wide open dropping a ball like that, it's kind of frustrating for a quarterback.
On third down. May, short drop. And now the quick release deep downfield and a diving effort incomplete. That was for Mario Bailey, Super Mario. And did you see May, after the very short drop, just buggy whip that ball a good 45 yards?
Got strong arm, as he proved right there on that one. That was kind of just desperation, as you're going to see Super Mario. He's the guy in the middle there running the deep route. You got another guy coming posting underneath, but May tried to just make something happen with the pressure there, just out past the outstretched arms of Mario Bailey.
A single bar in Frankfurt. No, that's not the social scene here. That's the helmet of Scott Player. He hangs this one high. And the fair catch called for and made once again by Jeff Russell. They're right back in the same spot as a short while ago at their own 11-yard line. The Amsterdam Admirals, their point of call. Their lone points this evening, the field goal by Oliver Quaz.
And with 55 seconds left in a half, they got a long way to go to get pay dirt. A lot of times you'll see a team in this situation come out, maybe run a screen or a draw, as we listen to Al Luganville.
Talking to Bob Campbell, his running backs coach. Al, all those seasons at San Diego State. An bold victory over Arizona while he was there. From the 11th, on first down, Dawkins into the churn. Pushes the pile up to the 15-yard line, does Dawkins. 95 when he was here, the first go-around. You see less than a minute remaining. He was leading the league in rushing before he blew out his knee, unfortunately, in the 7th week of the season and spent the last year and a half rehabbing.
He had 475 yards after those 6 games and set this league on fire. And now it was a long rehab for Ralph Dawkins, but I think he's back to full speed as you watch him.
McCoy gives it to him again. They'll run it out here at the conclusion of the first half. We will have all the highlights, all the numbers for you, and much more tonight on our halftime show. Just ahead, the second week of the World League season. Spring in Germany tonight. Frankfurt with the lead as the gun will sound over Amsterdam. What a home opener it's been for the first 2 quarters. More than 40,000 on hand with Ernie Steiner's team in front. Our halftime just ahead from Germany.
I thought it was the flu. It wasn't.
It burned when I urinated. I thought it was a one-time thing. It wasn't.
I had pain, a discharge, and a sore. I thought it was another yeast infection. It wasn't.
These are symptoms of genital herpes, a condition that 1 out of every 6 Americans has. Call 1-800-419-4343 for information. While there's no cure, doctors have treatment options. Herpes thrives on ignorance. See your doctor.
I'm back!
Before he made motion picture history. Before he became the biggest movie star in the world.
Can we make with the Kleenex here?
He was already making us laugh out loud. On In Living Color.
Woodchuck the gray squirrel, woodchuck the gray squirrel. Done coming home.
The only place you can see Jim Carrey every night.
Alrighty.
Is on FX. 2 back-to-back episodes of In Living Color.
My job here is done.
Searching for major movies? Turn on FX Major Movie Sunday. A major Hollywood movie every Sunday.
I don't believe it.
This Sunday at 8, 2-time Academy Award winner Tom Hanks rolls out the laughs in the outrageous comedy Bachelor Party.
Let's have a bachelor party!
Catch Tom Hanks in one of his most hilarious roles ever.
Thanks, pal!
Something interesting is gonna happen here. Turn on Bachelor Party this Sunday at 8 on FX Major Movie Sunday.
This Dockers Halftime Report is brought to you by Dockers Khakis. The go-to khakis from Amsterdam to Frankfurt. Hey, nice pants.
Eric Clemens welcoming you to the Dockers Halftime Report. Frankfurt over Amsterdam 13-3 at the break, but right now, what we've all been waiting for, the first overall selection in this year's 62nd edition of the NFL Draft, Orlando Pace with 6'6", 330-pound tackle out of Ohio State. Orlando, first, congratulations for being the top overall selection. Tell me, what does it mean to you as you get a few hours to reflect?
You know, it's a tremendous feeling. It's a goal that I want to accomplish, and I've accomplished that goal, so therefore it's really exciting for me and my family, you know, to experience something like this.
Okay, now you were sitting at the draft, and of course the St. Louis Rams made the trade for the #1 pick, but you still looked nervous as they cut to the shot of you as you were being announced. You knew you were going to go to them. Were you actually nervous as you looked?
Yes, I was. It took them about 10, 15 minutes just to make the selection, so I was sitting there thinking whether they traded the pick or whether, you know, they were you know, having second thoughts about choosing me. So that was another nervousness right there.
And now, when they brought you up on stage, they got to tell them to get a bigger jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this #1 would never fit over you.
Definitely.
Was that a little awkward for you holding this little bit?
I thought it was my little cousin's T-shirt or something like that. So it was one of those.
Okay, Orlando, let's first talk about, everybody talks about you. They've been talking about you since you declared yourself eligible, and you might be the best to come out in a long, long time since Munoz. In fact, some pretty famous coaches have said some great things about you. Take a look at the monitor here on some of the clippings that we have. You can see some people have said Orlando Pace, I've never seen anybody better. Your coach, Lee Corso, says best lineman, young lineman I've ever seen. With all these accolades, is it difficult to keep your humility and your focus, and how do you do it?
I think I just try to keep it's from a sound upbringing and just keeping humbleness and things like that into the equation, and basically just going out there playing hard and realizing that it, you know, was a God-given ability, and just from there on it just grew a little bit.
Speaking of God-given ability, you've been seen in publicity photos with pancakes in front of you. You made the pancake block famous. Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, basically it's a block that you just lay a defender flat on his back, and you know, other than that, that's too much. I guess I just, you know, I'm one of those players that just goes to the whistle and just be real relentless.
All right, relentless, and you can get up and down the field pretty good speed for a big guy, too. Huh?
Exactly. I think, you know, just being an athlete, I think that's the biggest attribute I bring to offensive tackle. Having the ability to run, I think that's the strongest attribute that I have.
St. Louis, what do you know about them? How do you look forward to playing?
They're a young team. They have a lot of young athletes on the team that, you know, and I figure into that also. So therefore, I think it's a team that's coming up, you know, with new coaching staff and things like that. You know, there's going to be big things happening in St. Louis.
All right, Orlando Pace, thanks for being with us so far, but we got more coming up with you in just a moment. Also, in just a moment, we'll recap first half highlights from Frankfurt, Germany. The Galaxy enjoying a 13-3 lead at intermission. Back with more of the Dockers Halftime Report in a moment.
Searching for action, excitement, and laughs? Turn on FX Primetime, starting at 8.
Get yourself a team.
Catch the explosive thrills of the A-Team. Then at 9, Don Johnson turns up the heat with the look and excitement that is Miami Vice. And at 10,
Protect and serve.
Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans push the envelope of good taste.
Pilot to co-pilot, we're going down in flames.
On In Living Color, FX Primetime, tonight starting at 8. 3 shows, 1 place, FX.
I don't use a blindfold in games. Makes it hard to run the bases.
This Monday, the New York Yankees take on the Chicago White Sox, or Toronto meets Anaheim, only on FX. Remember those great rock and roll bands? Now you can rock again with the great rock and roll instrumentals. Rock on with 22 fabulous hits from the great rock and roll instrumentals. Only $9.99 for compact disc or double-length cassette. Then audition other fabulous rock and roll era albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. So call now and let the good times roll again.
To order your great rock instrumentals, call 1-800-843-6611. That's 1-800-843-6611. Or send $9.99 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
Welcome back to the Doctor's Halftime Report. Eric Clemens back at our FX studios in New York. Frankfurt and Amsterdam continuing one of the more intense rivalries in the World League, but so far after a half of play, it's been all Frankfurt. Set out to Waldstadion in Frankfurt, Germany, where the crowds are always big as they welcome their Galaxy, who've made an appearance in 2 straight World Bowls. First quarter, Chad May. The pitch to Bobby Phillips, and he's gone. Breaks down the near sideline, 65 yards for the touchdown, and the little dive in the end zone. 10-0 in favor of Frankfurt. Later in the first quarter, May handing off to Vernon Turner, and Turner picks up 27. Some huge holes being opened in the line of the Admirals. You see the Galaxy up 13-3 at the half, and Frankfurt controls the series so far against Amsterdam. Now it's time for more with our first round overall selection. First overall selection, Orlando Pace. Orlando, the New York Jets held the #1 pick up until a couple of days before the draft. Now, before then, Bill Parcells wasn't real committal over what he was going to do with it. Talk about the difference in conversations with the Jets and the difference in conversations with Dick Vermeil after St. Louis acquired the pick.
Yeah, once I talked to the Jets and Coach Parcells, he expressed to me that he was uncertain about what he was going to do with the draft choice. And I had pretty much said in my mind that he probably would trade it because he was so uncertain and they had lost so much in gaining him right here in New York. So, you know, therefore, once I talked to Coach Vermeil, once they got the pick, he expressed that he was going to definitely draft me. And, you know, there's a lot of excitement there. And you know, I'm a St. Louis Ram now.
All right. And you're not as far away from home either. I understand your mother didn't want you to go all the way out there to Oakland, had you slid down to #2. Yeah. Good to be in St. Louis, a little closer to Sandusky?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think my mom's really enjoying that as far as me going to St. Louis rather than Oakland. So I know she's happy, and I'm also happy to be in St. Louis.
Orlando Pace, here's to many pancakes coming up in the NFL for you.
Thank you.
Continued success to you in the National Football League. Orlando Pace joining us here in the studio. Now let's take a look at the rest of the first round as it has unfolded today as the 62nd annual NFL Draft continues. You see Orlando Pace at #1, followed by Darrell Russell, the big defensive tackle out of USC at #2. Take a look at the rest of the first round as it's unfolded.
The later it gets, the better it gets.
3 words. Fabulous.
First,
I have a sexual appetite. Is that all right with you?
excuse me, weeknights at 11. Tom Skerritt stars in the critically acclaimed Picket Fences.
Vice, Miami.
Then it's the show whose style and sound changed television forever.
I sort of like to keep it that way, if you catch my drift.
Miami Vice. Finally, it's a double dose of outrageous comedy.
2 snaps up.
In living color, primetime comes to late night starting at 11 on FX.
Searching for an inside look at the American dream? Let FX take you to Minnesota, baseball Minnesota, where you get a real-world view of the minor leagues. And every day is a fight to get to the majors. From the owners to the manager, the families and the fans, all eyes are on the men who have the courage to dream and the talent to win. Tune in to FX and get behind the scenes of the minor leagues, because there's more to the game of baseball than what you see on the field. Baseball Minnesota, Sunday at 7.
It's the largest set ever built, the largest set ever destroyed.
Somebody tell me what the hell is going on?
There are going to be a million dead people if we don't evacuate.
Sunday on FX.
Put as many people in front of it as it takes.
Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche take you behind the scenes
This is no good. Get out of here.
as one of Hollywood's hottest motion pictures explodes. It's the making of Volcano, Sunday at 7:30 on FX.
Bobby Phillips with a 65-yard touchdown run. The major difference, 2 Ralph Kleinman field goals. It's Frankfurt leading Amsterdam 13-3. We're at the half. Ray Bentley among the face-painted 40,000 here. Years ago, wearing the red, white, and blue of the Buffalo Bills. They're all over Steve Grogan. And now, an author of children's book to great acclaim, Ray.
Well, that's what my education set me up for. I was able to reach the level of children's books, but actually, Paul, I've done this for about 8 years now. I've actually written and published 7 children's books, and it's a lot of fun. It's an extension of my family. With the 5 children I have, that's who I write for, but I've actually reached out a little bit more, and I visit a lot of schools in the community and help encourage kids to read. That's what these books are all about. If you can do that, you've gone a long way in helping somebody out.
You've played at the highest level of the National Football League. This is pretty good football here through 2 quarters.
I am very much impressed by the way they're playing this football game. The Galaxy have come out and ran the ball unbelievably, and then their defense is playing tough. I was also impressed with Brent Moss. When he got in there, he sparked that Amsterdam offense, got him down into field goal range. Maybe with getting him back in here in the second half, we can make more of a ball game out of this.
Let's take a look at the numbers through 2 quarters, and it will tilt in favor of the Galaxy. The total offense, a 200-yard spread between the 2 clubs.
And the big one there, the rushing yardage, 176 already. Had only 111 in all the game last week. Going on that and more already here by halftime. The other thing I think you got to look at is the penalties down there. The Admirals are shooting themselves in the foot. 7 penalties for 33 yards. Had 8 penalties for 50 yards last week, but really they've stopped a couple of drives with penalties, and they've also kept the Galaxy alive with a couple of those penalties.
Ernie Stotner, talking to him earlier today, he said he's rarely worked as hard preparing a team for a game in any year of professional football as he has this week. He felt he gave the game away last week in London.
Said he misjudged his ball club. He thought they were ready, and he kind of gave them some freedoms that usually a team has to earn. Well, Ernie made him earn them this week, as he had practices and days that went into 16, 17-hour days with meetings at night. And that's really, I think, maybe the difference for this Galaxy club here tonight.
The opening kickoff of our second half, it's Ron Carpenter on the return. Carpenter 35-40. Carpenter midfield. A spark at the 40. Carpenter inside the 40. We had mentioned it earlier. In 1995 for the New York Jets, Carpenter led the NFL on average yards per kickoff return, close to 30.
27.7 to be exact. And you're going to see Carpenter get a nice hole here. This guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to return kicks. That's, you put it down to the floor and you hit the seam and then accelerate. And that's what he does right there. He sneaks to the right a little bit, accelerates, and watch him stay alive here, running into the kicker. Actually, Kleinman knocked the ball loose on Carpenter. As you take a look at him, out of Miami of Ohio, does an excellent job returning kicks. That's his shot to get back into the NFL.
Did not play in the World League in 96 after he did in 95, and there's a first down grab at the 22-yard line. Good catch by Robert Hall, the quarterback turned wide receiver, and Hall holds on to the ball.
Nice throw by McCoy right there. Here's Hall right here. You're going to see him go down, give a little stutter step, break it inside, And the zone coverage laying off Jack Kellogg, not able to close in time to knock the ball loose. Good timing on that one from Mike McCoy, getting it out to Hall on time.
That's 60 yards in 2 plays. The kickoff return, the completion, McCoy to Hall of 15. And now the right side, trying to bounce outside and stood up, driven back by linebacker Andre Bowden.
That's Moss back in the ball game, carrying the ball, and I think you see a difference when Moss is in there. He's ready to play tonight. We talked to him yesterday. He got really emotional about some of his past, the things that he's gone through, and he really felt like this was his opportunity to come out here and show people everywhere that Brent Moss is all about being a good football player, and that's what he's really kind of worked hard for and set his heart on.
And a timeout taken by McCoy. Loganville and the Admirals just underway here.
That's their first
in the third quarter. Amsterdam trying to get back.
Life is
The race against yourself.
setting goals. Focus. The face plan. Reaching goals. 2,837 free throws. Putting back what you lose. Being the underdog.
Life is
Beginning.
being
Me.
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
I'll buy 10 of these. You're Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders? It's him. You're the greatest, man. Mind if I get a picture? Thanks, bro. You mind if I write a check? Sure, Deion. I'm just going to need to see some ID. Say what? Yes, like driver's license, a library card.
Checks. What a pain.
Employee ID.
But now there's a better way. The Visa Check Card. It's an ATM card with a Visa logo that deducts from your checking account automatically everywhere Visa's accepted.
I'm going to have to call to see if you can cover this.
The Visa Check Card works just like a check, only better.
Watch tomorrow's NFL stars today in the World League. At 10 a.m. tomorrow, Scotland hosts Barcelona. And at 1 p.m., the Rhine Fire Simmers versus Stan White and the London Monarchs. Catch doubleheader action starting at 10 a.m., 9 Central on FX.
Coming up on this week's Back Chat, we talk to David Allen Greer and Tom Arnold about their new movie, McHale's Navy, and look at the lighter side of being a hitman with Joe Pesci and his new movie, 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag.
Back Chat, Sunday at 6:30 p.m., 5:30 Central.
I don't use a blindfold in games. Makes it hard to run the bases.
This Monday, the New York Yankees take on the Chicago White Sox, or Toronto meets Anaheim, only on FX.
Following the timeout, Amsterdam on the attack. Opening drive of the second half, and they run Moss right into the meat again of that defensive front, and there's Big Reynolds. In the World League, and this occurred during the timeout, the head coach can go on the field and join the huddle.
I think it's a great idea. You know, you let the coach get out there, and then he can talk to everybody he wants and take care of every detail without having the whole team come over and then run back out. I like this. I'd like to see this adapted into the NFL. This is one of the neat things I think they do in the World League. As we look at a player down right now for the Galaxy, can't quite tell who that is. He's covered up. But I like the idea of the coach being able to go out there, Paul. I think that not only can a coach go out there and straighten guys up in terms of assignments, but he maybe can get them motivated a little bit.
Now, what would have happened if Marv would have walked out there with you and Bruce Smith, Cornelius Bennett, and the whole crew in Buffalo?
I don't know. It might have taken Marv too long to get out there. Maybe it's not a good idea to do that in Buffalo. But, no, certainly he would have been able to get out there and get us going in the right direction. And I like that. You get a lot more hands-on from a head coach that way.
Amsterdam headed in the right direction here in the third quarter after a very slow start the first 2 quarters of this game. And the injured player is Bruce Walker now setting up, which is a good sign. McCoy with the 15-yard completion to Hall, just about equal his passing yardage and the team yardage for the first half to put it, the Amsterdam Admirals in this position. Walker back to his feet and able to jog off.
Here he is right here. Let's see what we can see if we can see where he got hurt on this one. He fights across the block, does a good job, but then I think the pile ends up on top of him, and you get on the bottom of those 300-pounders in there, and you can come up lame a little bit.
Oscar Sturgis in there along with Reynolds on the inside. McCoy on the snap on third down. McCoy is tripped up and falls down. Frank Mesmer got to him. He is mesmerized on the sack back at the 30-yard line.
Mesmer, the national player for the Frankfurt Galaxy, having a great game. Had good pressure earlier, and this time again he comes in, as you see it from the low angle. He's coming in on the top side. Now McCoy's got time to get this thing off. Oh, he takes a shot in the face. That could be called a penalty, but Mesmer stays with it. He's able to reach out and do the shoestring thing to McCoy to get him down.
That takes him out of field goal range too. And now the punt trying to kill it in the corner. Kreger sails out of bounds, and where will they mark this? Up outside the 10. Eichmann continues to walk up to the 15, right at the 16-yard line. Frankfurt in the first half, as you see, really spread the wealth, did Chad May.
Chad May has used 6 different receivers, as you can see, and he's really done a good job, I think, of taking what has been given to him by the Admiral defense and spread the ball out, doing a lot of different things in regard to the strategy in terms of throwing the football. They've done some quick stuff. They've done some play action stuff. They've also just done some straight routes to some wide receivers, including Mr. Shelley, as you see him run out.
May in the first quarter was 5 of 8. And the same number of attempts in the second quarter, had but 1 completion. How does he fare? First play of the third. Throws underneath, and that is caught at the 30-yard line. And a first down, and out of bounds. Werner Hempler, who began this game, the big reception, what an only catch until this point, moves the chains forward.
There's Hippler right here. It's the same play we saw early in the ball game. The play action. There's the fake right there. And this brings the linebackers up, as you can see right there. Trying to take a shot at him is number 57 for the Admirals, and that's Cedric Figueroa. He takes a shot at him, but he doesn't get enough coverage. It's a big play for the Galaxy.
We have seen Ingo Seibert, too. Big game to see him get into at the 45-yard line. What a whack laid on by Cedric Figueroa. Figueroa off the Notre Dame campus, the 7-year National Football League veteran, with the hammer inside to fill the hole.
It's a big shot. Figueroa knows how to play that trap. He came up and hit it right in the mouth. And this is a guy that Al Luganbill, in talking to him yesterday, said, we're going to get him on the field a little more. We got to get this guy on there because he knows how to play the game, and he can ignite a ball club. He may have just done so with that hit.
On second down, May again over the middle, and another big hit back at the 40-yard line. This time, Figueroa, quite as dramatic, but it's laid on Hippler. Hippler of the San Diego Chargers. That play here.
Figueroa does a great job.
Was here.
Figueroa does a great job of playing his zone defense. You can see him. He's right there in the middle of your screen. He's going to back up. He's going to read this underneath route, come up and deliver the wood to Mr. Hippler. Puts him on his back, puts him in a 3rd and 3 situation. Figueroa's come in, I think, and given this Amsterdam defense a little bit of a lift.
And those are kind of shots you'd like to pass.
I like those. I don't like that.
Flags fly. Again, the short game. And into the arms of Phillips, who's immediately wrapped up, shy of the first down marker. And now our referee on, and Mike Pereira. Offsides, Amsterdam. That'll be a first down.
I think they caught Mike Evans going across this time. And he's going to just jump the gap a little bit. There he goes. Back 2 guys. And that's got to give the credit to Chad May.
5 yards, first down.
Doing a great job with the inflection of his voice, mixing up the count, drawing them off sides, and that's a big mistake because that's 3rd and 3, and it gives them a free first down, keeps the drive alive. Now again, the penalties, that was the 8th one for Amsterdam here tonight.
At 7 at the half. May with the lead and the football. Hands it inside, and Phillips is close to midfield. And it looked to be a late flag thrown in, and it came from the referee.
Might be a hold. Figaro again on the stop as he's just taking over this defense for the Admirals. Bobby Phillips was a little upset on that one. They get a face mask. Goes the other way. Maybe that's what Phillips was upset about, but I think he thought he could bust through that at the end of that run and really make a big play out of this as he did earlier.
Face mask, number 57 at the defense. 15 yards and added on to the end of the run. First down.
That is Figaro.
Phillips is going to run right at you, and Figaro's going to come inside and make the hit, and there's the face mask right there, and he held on. And you can't hold on to that face mask. You may hit it with your hand as you take another angle look at it, but you can't hold on to it, and he does, obviously, this time, and that is what Bobby Phillips was upset about, and rightly so.
Bailey up top, Shelley, the short curl, flags. It looked as if Frankfurt was moving early. It's tapped incomplete in the end zone. Intended for Mario Bailey. Tommy Jones was the corner. The flag is down.
Not sure what they're going to call on this one, if it was a push-off.
Two flags down.
Or if Jones got his hands on Bailey on that one. That was that little out and up again that we saw earlier. And May laid this one in there. This one could have been a big play. We'll see what it is.
There's a double foul on the play. Illegal motion on the offense. Pass interference, number 23 on the defense. Those penalties offset will replay first down.
So Shelley was moving early, and then Tommy Jones interfered with Mario Bailey. First Shelley moving.
Right there, you see him at the bottom of your screen, goes a little bit early. And then there's the pump for May, and he gets it down here. You're going to see Jones get his hands on Bailey a little early. And that's a questionable one, but they did throw the flag on it, so it's offsetting. We'll try first down again.
This is a national series. The European flag, the EC flag displayed on the down marker. The toss goes back to Phillips. He's hit in the backfield, and down he will go. The loss on the play. Phillips is dropped by McSeed. Appears to be somewhat shaken up. McSeed active last week, forced 2 fumbles for Amsterdam in the setback against Scotland.
Watch this hit as the guard pulls around. That's big number 70, David Bailey, and he goes flat on his back as McSeed brings it that time, makes the big hit. And right behind him was Figaro, but McSeed hurt himself with that one with the viciousness of that blow, took himself out.
Played for Tubby Raymond, coaching legend at Delaware. Diving effort. Not get there. Mario Bailey. Even Super Mario. He of the 2 touchdown catches last year in the World Bowl loss, they fell against Scotland. He had a superb game.
Yeah, he did 8 receptions in that ball game, 104 yards, and the 2 touchdowns that you said, and caught a ball earlier tonight. His streak now, 22 consecutive World League games, and you see he's closing in on some other numbers here in the World League.
Also 3rd in receiving yards. Runs about a 4.4 still. Does Bailey, the age of 26. Timeout taken.
Timeout.
By Chad May. 8:42 remaining in quarter number 3. May and company leading 13-3 at Wald Stadium, Frankfurt, Germany.
So you're building that deck with Time Life to help you along. You might want to add some built-in benches, page 50. How about a brick patio, guaranteed weed-proof, and a lot easier on your checkbook than some contractor would be.
Now with home repair, you get 2 books for $2. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Those new countertops sure look good, and doing it yourself probably saved a bundle. So you could do that built-in recycling bin she wanted. Step by step, Time Life makes it easy.
With home repair, you get professional results at do-it-yourself prices. Use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Home repair makes you a real hero around the house. So why don't you give them a call? They'd probably love to hear from you.
Call 1-800-571-0707 to get 2 books for only $2. Use your credit card to order decks, porches, and patios, and you'll get kitchens free. Or send check or money order for $1.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
The sights, the sounds of fun-loving Frankfurt. Along with Ray Bentley, I am Paul Kennedy. The World League tonight as the National Football League goes global. Finds us in Germany. It is 3rd and long. Hermé, 3rd and 15. Chad throws to the boundary. It's juggled, caught inside the 30-yard line. About a yard shy of the first down marker, it appears. Bailey came back for the football, juggled it, but did hold on.
Bailey's upset with himself because he knows he's got to get the first down yardage, even if he does come back. He's got isolation, man-to-man coverage, one-on-one out there. He does a nice job of pushing it upfield, but he comes back too far, isn't able to get the sticks, and now they end up a yard short of the first down. Looks like they're going to have to go for the field goal.
1 yard.
Ernie's a little upset about that.
Ernie's grimace. Ralph Kleinman. For a 3rd time tonight, this from 43, it would be his longest. Again with enough leg, and he nailed it. He can kick. Ernie can judge talent, can he? Ralph Kleinman from 43 has lead Bills now to 16-3.
That is a career long for Ralph Kleinman. A 42-yarder in Week 7 last year was his longest prior to that. And Kleinman been nailing him this week. Doing an excellent job place kicking off that 1-inch tee.
Out of the hold of Steve Pullure, ex-Cowboy.
He knows it's good.
And Kleinman.
Then it's hug time.
We might see Steve Pullure this evening. In place of Chad May. Ernie had told us earlier he would play. A long-time Cowboy.
Well, as hot as Chad May is in moving this offense, I would be surprised at this point anyway to see Steve Pullure in this game. Maybe in the 4th quarter you get him in there and give him some reps.
Ralph Kleinman with his 10th career field goal as well. He had 7 last season. He's now booted 3 here tonight. And he's talking to Buddy Horton, official, out of the Pac-10. What a great gathering this evening. The largest of a still young season here in Frankfurt. Galaxy backed by the largest crowds week in and week out in the 6-city circuit. One of 2 teams in Germany, Dusseldorf, the Panthers, also play at home. They will be hosting the London Monarchs, quarterbacked by the Giant Stan White. That game to take place tomorrow, along with Barcelona, flying into Scotland.
Big game there, a couple of undefeated ball clubs.
Jeff Russell, right of your screen, and really seen what Ron Carpenter can do with a 45-yard return to open.
And they'll try to get Carpenter the ball. He'll move around and make sure he's the guy that brings it back.
End over end, and it comes into Russell's arms. Already at the 20, he darts for the sidelines. He's at the 40. And then we'll take on a tackler. Well, the short kick by Kleinman sets up Amsterdam in pretty good field position here, midway through our 3rd quarter. And trailing as they are by close to 2 touchdowns.
Short kick and not very good hang time. As you check out the average attendance in Frankfurt, almost 3 times what the rest of the World League will average. Doing an excellent job in marketing the ball club here. And what amazes me is you look around this stadium, everyone in here has got some purple Galaxy wear on. And it's just all over the place, and they get very excited about their football, their American football here in Germany.
See if Amsterdam can get excited. The toss sweep to Ralph Dawkins. He turns it and runs north-south. trying to dip. Not much there. Lead blocking provided by Kenneth McDaniel, 67, the Vikings. Offensive lineman on load to Amsterdam, and there you see Bruce Walker on the stop, the former UCLA Bruin. You know, a couple of years ago, he was the 37th pick overall by the Philadelphia Eagles and didn't make the ball club. He still believes, though, he can play in the league.
Second rounder, he was with the Patriots on IR in 95, played a little in 96, trying to get back into it, working here in the World League.
McCoy sets up the screen to the near side. Dawkins makes the catch, but there is nowhere for him to go. Into the waiting arms of Sean Banks, the linebacker, read it perfectly.
Banks smelled that one out. Nobody fooled him with a misdirection screen. Banks last week had 13 tackles and the only sack for the Galaxy. This is a misdirection thing. They're trying to roll to the right with McCoy, suck everybody over there, including the coverage, and then drop the screen off to the other side. You see the lineman releasing out front. Looks like they got something going, but Banks is able to shred those blockers, just splice up through the middle, make the big hit for the big loss.
Hey, this former Cincinnati Bengal with quickness there and reacting. It's third and very long and on the roll. Here is McCoy to buy time. McCoy now chased, taken down, dropped at the 30-yard line. Down goes McCoy, and the stop made by David Webb. Webb, after being shaken up, has got his senses back and played pretty well, although he's hobbling off now.
Well, he was hurt earlier, but he made a great job rushing right here. There's David Webb. He's going to get the rush upfield. McCoy rolls away, and I talked about Webb's speed earlier, and he's able to use that speed to close. As McCoy can't find a receiver, there's Webb making the hit. And if McCoy could have looked downfield, he had a man wide open deep, but the pressure got there in time.
Vernon Turner trying to get to the far side. Flags all over the place. Rather than being Turner, this time on the return, Travis Hanna goes back to field the kick.
Anytime you get a flag in that kind of area in special teams and return game, you're usually talking about a clip, a block in the back, or possibly a hold. And we'll go with a clip.
Well, that'll be stepped off against Frankfurt. Second straight week, Mike Ferreira, the referee, has worked a game in Germany. He was the head man last week in Rhein Stadium in Dusseldorf.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist on the return team, half the distance from the 13, from the 26 to the 13, first down.
There's a pause in the action. Al Luganville's team trailing.
Number 5,
homestanding Frankfurt.
50, the fouling player.
16-3. 5:49 remaining in the third quarter. Just 2 field goals for Al and the Admirals in a game and a half. Our action returns from Frankfurt in a moment.
It all started with this dime tip. Suddenly, I was the boss. So I gave myself a day off and went shopping. It was so great. Everything I tried on fit like it was cut just for me. Later at the salon, Candace Bergen shows up with my phone bill.
This will make your day.
Every call was just a dime a minute when I'm home, evenings and weekends. On the way out, I passed the dime on. Who wouldn't want a great rate like that?
Call now for 200 minutes free.
It's the largest set ever built. The largest set ever destroyed.
Somebody tell me what the hell is going on? There are going to be a million dead people if we don't evacuate.
Sunday on FX.
Put as many people in front of it as it takes.
Tommy Lee Jones and Anne Heche take you behind the scenes
This is no good. Get out of here.
as one of Hollywood's hottest motion pictures explodes. It's the making of Volcano. Sunday at 7:30 on FX.
Searching for major movies? Turn on
FX Major Movie Sunday, a major Hollywood movie every Sunday.
I don't believe it.
This Sunday at 8, two-time Academy Award winner Tom Hanks rolls out the laughs in the outrageous comedy Bachelor Party.
Let's have a bachelor party!
Catch Tom Hanks in one of his most hilarious roles ever.
Thanks, pal!
Something interesting is gonna happen here.
Turn on Bachelor Party this Sunday at 8 on FX Major Movie Sunday.
The World League delighted to welcome you back from the United States to this football festival in Frankfurt.
Stick around. Fox Sports. Fox shows.
Unbelievable.
Searching for the power of Fox? You'll find it on FX. Fox Gone Cable.
Back at our FX studios in New York, obviously experiencing some technical difficulties with the signal coming over from Frankfurt, Germany. We'll be trying to work that out for you a little bit later and rejoin the Frankfurt Galaxy. We're right now comfortably ahead of the Amsterdam Admirals 16-3 midway through the third quarter. Let's take a look ahead at what we have for you tomorrow here on FX as World League Weekend number 2 continues. An exciting doubleheader of action for you tomorrow. The Barcelona Dragons, winners in their opener, take on the defending World Bowl champion Scottish Claymores. That's from Murray Field in Scotland. Edinburgh is the site tomorrow at 10 a.m. And followed immediately by London at the Rhine Fire. The Monarchs opened their season with a victory last week. Rhine Fire trying to avoid their second straight last place finish. It appears we have our problems sorted out and solved from Frankfurt, Germany. So now let's send you back to Ball Stadium in Frankfurt, where Ray and Paul are standing by. Guys?
We welcome back our FX fans to Ball Stadium, World Stadium, where seconds ago, Ernie Stotner's quarterback, Chad May, hit once, or rather this is Steve Pallure now. Hit, and he coughs up the football.
That's the big hit right there, the second man coming in, and that's Frank Mesmer again, the German national. Watch this, Pallure's on his way down. Mesmer puts the helmet right on the football, knocks it loose. It's a freebie right now. It's a mad scramble for the ball, and it looks like Amsterdam comes up with it, getting on the turnover score.
Rather rude greeting for Steve Pallure.
Yeah.
His first snap of the season. McCoy, he'll give it inside, and there's nowhere to run for Brent Moss. There is Frank Mesmer, the Cologne Crocodile, aptly named. This guy's a super heavyweight boxer who just loves contact.
He's a left defensive end right there. We're going to watch him go and make this big hit. He beats the gap, knocks the guard down, and there the ball carrier is. Hello, says Frank Mesmer.
5th draft on Brent Moss. Had a couple of sacks in the final game of the season against Amsterdam to propel Frankfurt into the championship contest. McCoy pulls it down, now guns over the middle. It was very nearly picked off. Hillary Butler stepping in front of the intended target, John Davis, the tight end. He's mad at himself.
Well, we talked to him yesterday, and he said he had a goal for himself to get that interception, and he makes a nice zone drop. You're going to watch Hillary Butler, number 57, right in the middle of your screen. Go into his hook route. He sees the break outside by the tight end, steps inside, and actually that was a bad throw. If McCoy leads his tight end a little bit better to the outside, he might have something going. But Butler with a quick close on the break, able to knock the thing down.
Kendrick Smith to the bottom of your screen. Robert Hall up top. Slot man as well. Trips to the far side for McCoy, who steps up and will fire, and that is caught inside the 15 down to the 12-yard line. First down. Masato Itai. McCoy connects.
Itai does a great job on this one. I'll tell you who else does a great job is McCoy. There's a little bit of pressure. Nobody's open early, and he's trying to find something going. Good presence in the pocket to step up. Then he lets the thing go, and Itai, on his pattern, was supposed to come across middle. Saw some traffic there, stopped it, and went back the other way, giving him that room to catch the ball. McCoy stayed with it, saw him. Big play for the Admirals.
First set of downs off the right side. Grinding is Brent Moss. Misato Itai out of Kyoto, Japan. A national starter this evening in this national series for Al Luganville. One of two Japanese players here. The linebacker in Masa Kawaguchi plays the defensive side of the football. Hands and speed.
He's got good size. You look at him, 6 foot tall, 186 pounds, and he's really catching on to American football and learning the nuances of the game.
Here is Moss. Moss wrapped up and pulled down.
Yeah, Johnny Dixon came up from the secondary and made a good tackle on Moss, but he did a good job in the backfield to avoid a loss, getting away early on. I'm impressed with Brent Moss, the way he's run the football today. Look at this. He shows the strength to get by there, a little stiff arm action, and then he's still fighting, trying to get some extra yards at the end of this run.
So most important snap here, aren't they all at this point in time? Trailing 16-3. But able to pull within a touchdown if they can score play action. And McCoy running. McCoy throwing. That is caught close to the first down marker. That's his tight end, John Davis. A yard shy, and there's decisions to be made now on the Admiral sideline. Chris Hall kept him from reaching the first down marker, the strong safety for Frankfurt.
They've been using this play all along this season, trying to set circle the guy right there who's going to catch the ball. It's a bootleg. They're trying to get him to catch him in a blitz, so it's man-to-man. And what Davis does is he gets on his block to sell the run, breaks off, gets outside, open in the flat for a pass. Got to give Frank Mesmer a little credit for holding him up on that. But he's able to get the separation, get him into a 4th and 1, and they're not going to take any chances. Going to try and get some points on the board.
21-yard try by Oliver Quaz, and a flag is thrown here.
I think he ran out of time on the play clock on this one.
With 60 seconds to go in the quarter.
4th and 1. I don't know if I might be tempted to run a little fake here or something.
No flag on the play. Timeout was called by the defense, Frankfurt, prior to the snap. Timeout, their second charge timeout.
There was confusion on the Frankfurt side of the football. Perhaps they were doubting if too many men on the field here, if Amsterdam might go for this.
Well, they
count 12.
You're right. They had too many on there, so they get a timeout called, which saves them a great deal, because what would happen there, Amsterdam gets the automatic first down. Now they're looking at 6 rather than the 3 here. So excellent heads-up play to call that timeout.
Today, of course, the National Football League draft back in the United States. How's this for a number? 9 of the first 18 collegiate players selected came out of the Sunshine State of Florida. Either the University of Florida, the Florida State Seminoles, the Miami Hurricanes. Tremendous talent now coming into the National Football League from Florida.
A lot of football factories down there in Florida. They work at it year-round, and you know, it's a great tribute to that state, and you know, it's where people go to find good football players. It's becoming what Texas was for many years.
Al Luganville has changed his mind, as you thought he might, Ray. Here is McCoy back on, and on 4th and 1, yes, you got to go for this.
Well, you might see a situation here where they try and draw him off sides. You give a long staggered count, and you get someone jumping off sides, and then you get the freebie. But if it doesn't work, you just call the timeout with a second or 2 left, and then you come back and kick the field goal.
Keep the drive alive. The tailback is Moss. Play action to him. Throwing into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown to Davis. Amsterdam, its first TD of 1997. A timeout costly to Ernie Stotner. For the Amsterdam Admirals, pull the field goal unit off the field and throw a touchdown pass. McCoy to his tight end and John Davis. And they are indeed back in this game.
They did a great job of running the play action on this one. John Davis lined up at tight end. They faked that run into the middle of the screen. It brings everybody up. The man with coverage on Davis plays run, ends up losing him. And all McCoy has to do is loft it into the corner of the end zone. And it's 6 points for the Admirals.
Silvio De Liberto with the extra point. The Dutch soccer superstar adds the PAT. Silvio Diliberto with his first action of this game, following the score by Davis, who was all alone in the back of the end zone. That buck was sailing by himself.
John Davis does a great job here. You're going to see him. He's right out here on the right side, and they're going to fake that run. It's going to draw up his man who's got coverage on him right there, and they let him see. Look how open he is. He's sliding back there. All McCoy has to do is loft it up, and you're going to see McCoy get real happy about this one. There it is, the first score of the year for the Admirals. There it is. There's your signal. Now he's going to go ahead and give his man a little dap for getting wide open in the corner of that end zone.
That is Mike McCoy's first professional touchdown pass, and it comes here in the World League to that man, John Davis. What was John Sacher saying earlier? Davis might be pound for pound the finest football player Amsterdam fields this evening.
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers certainly hope so, because he's on their roster. Davis last week with 4 receptions, 33 yards, picked up where he left off, and a couple of key catches, keep this drive alive, and then that one right there for the touchdown.
He, a year ago, began the season with New Orleans after spending time the previous 2 years with the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe the Bucs with a new look in terms of their coaching, their uniforms and the like. Maybe they get a new player here, too. Hannah across the 20. Travis bounces around near the 30. Kyle moves across to the 31-yard line. Travis Hannah on the return. Vernon Turner began this evening. Special teams, punts, kickoffs, and now the duty falls to Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah kind of hit the wedge from behind. He was wedge busting from the wrong side that time.
You'd think a man on campus of Southern Cal would know better than that.
Well, I like the idea. There's a wedge there, you go bust it. You get points for that.
In his 11th season now, Steve Pullor with his second series. Former Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback throws to the far side, and that is caught near the first down marker. John Morton on the receiving end. What a story Steve Pullor is. You recall in the early portion of the 80s, he and Gary Hogeboom going back and forth for Tom Landry as the starters in Dallas. Ernie Stotner knowing him well from those years. He was the starting quarterback here last season when Frankfurt went to the World Bowl, but he lost his job to Chad May.
He did an excellent job. Actually, him and May were pretty much even throughout training camp, but May with the youth and having the NFL allocation designation, they went with him to see what he could do.
His first completion, good for a first down. They will run the toss sweep on what might be the final play of the first quarter, and it's Vernon Turner across the 45, close to midfield. The third quarter now is history. We head to the fateful fourth. Frankfurt has the lead over Amsterdam.
Life is
The race against yourself.
setting goals. Focus. The face plan. Reaching goals.
2,837 free throws.
Putting back what you lose. Being the underdog.
Life is
Beginning.
being
Me.
Life is a sport. Drink it up.
Nice pants.
Dockers, khakis.
It's Sounds of the 70s. All your favorite 70s hits in one fantastic collection. Get Sounds of the 70s for just $9.99 on compact disc or double-length cassette. That's 20 classic hits.
That's a strange way to tell me from me. Tell that I love you. We'll go dancing in the dark.
Then audition other great Sounds of the 70s albums. There's no minimum to buy. Cancel anytime. Sounds of the 70s is not available in stores, so don't wait. Call now.
To order Sounds of the 70s, call 1-800-775-8282 or send $9.99 plus $3.50 shipping and handling to Sounds of the 70s, Department 17, Richmond, Virginia.
A man with a football legacy, Ryan Leahy, son of Frank, of course, playing for Amsterdam. Steve Pullor on second down at quarterback. The blitz is on. They run the delay. The handoff to Vernon Turner. And Turner across midfield, a yard shy of the first down marker. Look at our numbers through 3 quarters of week number 2. Our first go-around here in World Stadium, Bald Stadion. Now the Galaxy orbiting the Admirals in terms of the offensive numbers.
Yeah, the disparity in yardage is out of this world. The Galaxy with the big number of 343, but you scroll on down a little bit, you get to turnovers, which have led to all the Admiral points, including the fumble by Steve Pullor on that last series, which led him into that touchdown. And this is still a ball game, 16-10 with a full quarter left to play.
Pullor calls his own numbers. To get the left foot or the right foot spot.
Well, that's what you got to look for here. It looks like a left foot spot. That's going to be a first down. You know, if you get the right foot spot, you have to measure it, and I think they may measure it anyway. But he got the left foot spot, the upfield foot, and I think that's going to get enough for the first down, but they will take a look at it.
Now, Steve Pullor, you recall those early years in Dallas in the 80s when Dallas was truly in decline. When Steve arrived, they were 9-7. In his second year, they won 10 of 16, and then it began to unravel. The last 3 years, 7-9, 7 wins, 8 losses, and finally in 88, 3-13 before Jimmy Johnson arrived. And Pullor was off to Canada. Played for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Bounced around briefly in the camps of Kansas City and in Denver. But all of his years in the National Football League of any substance came in the decade of the 80s. And yet he is still playing this game.
34 years old. And you see right there, second highest rated quarterback in all of the World League last year. Led him into the World Bowl. That's why he's still playing football.
And backpedaling. Look out. Ducks under the sack. Rolls against the grain. Inside his own 40. Will now throw it away. Pretty agile for a man in his mid-30s.
And eyes in the back of his head. I don't know how he saw the man coming, but that's the experience. That's what it will do for you. He's been in that situation before, and he'll be in it again. He doesn't want to be in it. As you see, here comes the big rush. That's Bronzell Miller about to take his head off. Pullor feels that. He senses it somehow, ducks away, and is able to just throw this thing away, and they live to fight another down, 2nd and 10.
Against Amsterdam in week number 10, he had a huge game last year. Can he duplicate that in the 4th quarter? That's in and out of the hands of John Morton, who is on his knees. It'll set up 3rd down.
This one's going to come right at you, but the problem on this, Morton, he slips and falls, and then he's not able to get his hands set. See that slip and fall there? He doesn't get his hands up in time because he's putting them down to keep from falling. The ball goes right through him. Actually, good throw, good timing from Pullor to get the ball out there. They connected on that one earlier, but this time, Morton with the slip, not able to hang on.
Amsterdam, despite being outplayed, still within a touchdown and a field goal of taking the lead. They run the blitz. He throws into it. That is caught, but it's shy of the first down. Morton works the other sideline, does John. He, too, a former CFLer, had Ron Carpenter on the stop.
Here he is right here, Johnny Morton out there on the side. He's going to be covered by Cecil Doggett, who makes a good break right there. Plants the foot and comes back. He's got a little cushion, does Morton, and that's why they're running this. They're going to try and nickel and dime him a little bit and get as many yards as they can, and hopefully Morton can break a tackle and get himself a first down or even a bigger play, but that time Doggett with the sure tackle forces him into a punting situation.
Scott Player with a most important punt, kicking toward Jeff Russell. The University of the Pacific, another sure-handed fair catch. Amsterdam with the football now and driving against Frankfurt with a chance to take the lead.
In the eye set, you're still backside, right? Okay, I'm going to try.
Мы снова будем счастливы. Будем жить долго, долго, долго. Нам повезет жизнь новую.
sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free. They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free. While the rest of the week, they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free. Only from Sprint Business.
Searching for action, excitement, and laughs? Turn on FX Primetime, starting at 8.
Get yourself a team.
Catch the explosive thrills of the A-Team. Then at 9, Don Johnson turns up the heat with the look and excitement that is Miami Vice. And at 10, Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans push the envelope of good taste.
Pilot to co-pilot, we're going down in flames.
On In Living Color, FX Primetime, tonight starting at 8. 3 shows, 1 place, FX.
I don't use a blindfold in games. Makes it hard to run the bases.
This Monday, the New York Yankees take on the Chicago White Sox, or Toronto meets Anaheim, only on FX.
More pressure on the passer, not be underneath all the time, okay? Good job, guys. Keep it up now. Make a play. Make a play when it's there to be made. Good job. Good job.
His defense played very well on that series. One of the major reasons why they still have a shot at winning this game.
Well, it makes you feel 10 feet tall when that head coach comes over there and tells you, good job, good job. Marv Levy used to do that with us with the Buffalo Bills, and you're walking on air for a little while, and that's what these Amsterdam Admirals need to do, get pumped up a little bit. They're in this ball game yet.
McCoy, the 3-step drop. He throws over the middle. He has Robert Hall, and that's a big gainer close to the 35-yard line. Reflective of why Al Loganville shifted Robert Hall from his third-string quarterback position to a starting wide receiver role.
Little slant route. Hall comes in behind the linebacker. They get it in that seam. Hall shows excellent hands. McCoy throws it right on time. That's a big play to get him out of a hole. Now they got a little room out to the 35 where they can work it. Hall, third-string quarterback here, turned out to be a pretty decent receiver as well.
The leading receiver on this game, that's a gain of 20. Play action, bootleg. McCoy sets up, floats it to the sideline, and it's picked off. At the 49-yard line, what an interception made by the Galaxy's Johnny Dixon. The free safety rolls over and makes the grab and gets both feet down before tumbling into the bench.
Johnny Dixon did a great job of reading this play, coming from his free safety spot. He had an early jump on it, and you're going to be able to see Dixon. He's the middleman right there, and he's going to go ahead and drop into the middle, and then he reads it. He sees it early, and he sees this receiver coming across in front. He gets the early jump, goes up high, catches that football, and you're going to see McCoy be just a little bit upset about this one.
McCoy.
Rats, I think he said.
Appreciate it, man. What's up, Brandon?
And there's Dixon. He's very excited.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
His 10th career interception. And his first of the season. Vernon Turner on first down. Hits it up inside. Had a huge play last year, Ray. A 42-yard interception return for a score against this same Amsterdam team.
Put him into the World Bowl. He's played a lot of football in his days in training camps with San Diego, the Jets, and of course the Cowboys. Also played a little arena ball with the Detroit Drive back in the 1994 season.
An arena ball, the 50-yard indoor war. There's not a lot of room to hide in there, is there?
And you got to go both ways. That's the problem.
Look at Vernon Turner go. Inside the 40 and the 35-yard line for Vernon Turner. Bobby Phillips already with 115 yards rushing. And now it's Vernon Turner turning in the big game, too.
Vernon Turner's a great open field runner. And when he gets out in the open field, you're going to see some moves. There's a little shake and bake. Sidestep, cuts in between the two guys there, takes it straight up the field, and they've got it going again on the ground. Does the Frankfurt Galaxy. Look at the numbers on Turner already.
What a 1-2 punch. And Chintz is the up back, a solid blocking back. And the left tackle jump on this side.
They believe Ron Collins, big number 65, got his feet going just a bit early. They're going to back him up 5.
Collins Jones, the only returning starter on this front line for Frankfurt. A line that was reshuffled after last week and all the mistakes they made in London.
Had to draw a big circle around Collins. He's a big man, 6'5", 300-pounder. The only returning starter on this Frankfurt Galaxy offensive line. They had a stint with the 49ers in '94 and the Jags camp in '95.
6 men up. On first down. Throwing his Pallor to the near side and diving. Unable to make the catch is Mario Bailey. Boy, he laid out again.
That was very close. Pallor put that one almost right on the money. Good coverage that time for the secondary from Amsterdam because Pallor, you see him, he's looking to his right, then he looks back, and that keeps that free safety out of there. And then it's just one-on-one, overthrows it just a little bit. You're going to see Bailey lay out for this one. Jones on the coverage, step for step. That has to be a perfectly thrown ball for it to be complete, and it almost was.
Third down now. Must drive the ball inside the 22. Swinging out of the backfield. Looking at Turner. There's nowhere to go there. Mr. Wilmot. Trevor gets him around the neck and takes him down from Jamaica. Jamaican native. He'd be jamming there. Huh?
Authentic dreadlocks. Trevor Wilmot. So impressed with the way he played last week. Look at the eyes, the intensity of this young man. This guy's going to be a football player. He was with the Colts in their camp last year, and in my opinion, from watching him, you're going to see this kid in the NFL.
This now here. Yard marker is adjusted. Is third down. For Pallor. Over the middle, and that is caught. And that is a first down. Ben Farrell makes the grab. Right between the hashes, the tight end hooks up, and Pallor lays it in there.
Morrow's able to split the seams back there, get behind the linebackers. You're going to see him as tight end right over there. And he's going to run just straight up the field. He sees something in the middle, gets behind number 57 there, and Cedric Figaro, and he should know better, but Morrow's able to sneak in behind him, and a good pass from Pallor over the top.
He used to be a basketball player in his collegiate days. Trying to lead there, grabbing a rebound. This is Turner with still another carry to work that clock down, which winds under 8 minutes remaining, as you can see in our Fox box. A 16-10 football game. Frankfurt has led throughout the contest and has all 3 of its timeouts in Ernie Stotner's back pocket.
This is a big drive for the Galaxy. Take control back in this football game. If they can get any kind of points here, then it puts Amsterdam over the barrel because they've got to score twice then to get back into the lead in the game.
Steve Pallor working the play clock down with his experience. A single second to go. He did get it off. No whistles, no flags. He throws, and it's batted away, incomplete. The intended target was Merrill. There was O'Neal, the free safety out of Clemson. They get his left arm in there.
They call him O-Dog. O-Dog smelled that one out. They knew that Pallor likes that tight end over the middle. He's going to try and go back to it, a play that they had success with on a third down earlier. This time, Robert O'Neal smells it out, gets an earlier jump as Pallor gets some pressure on him there, but not enough as Ron Wolfram tries to put the hit on him. Pallor able to get it away, but good defensive play in the backfield that time from Robert O'Neal.
You are within Kleiman's kicking range. He has booted 3 this evening. Pallor will throw. That is caught. Hauled in by Bobby Phillips. Double team 3 yards shy of the first. So we'll see if Kleiman can make it a 4th field goal tonight for Stotner and the Galaxy.
Field goal. Field goal.
No doubt about that. Ernie said it twice. Field goal, and this is a big one because this will put them ahead by 9, putting the onus on the Admirals to get a couple of scores to take a lead and maybe win this ball game. Kleiman, 3 out of 4, long of 43. That's a career long for him. He hit that earlier in this ball game.
A 37 and a 39-yard boot would frame it. This from 30. Right on the hash, a high snap, and he'll miss it. He will push it right. And that is a big miss. For Amsterdam, still needs but 1 score to win this football game. 6:14 away from the finish line. What a finish it might be in Frankfurt.
It all started with this dime tip. Suddenly, I was the boss. So I gave myself a day off and went shopping. It was so great. Everything I tried on fit like it was cut just for me. Later at the salon, Candace Bergen shows up with my phone bill.
This will make your day.
Every call was just a dime a minute when I'm home, evenings and weekends. On the way out, I pass the dime on. Who wouldn't want a great rate like that?
Call now for 200 minutes free.
The legendary chalice of Malta has never come cheap. In 1238, it was captured by 10,000 Celts. In 1512, it took an entire armada. And in 1703, it took an arranged marriage to the daughter of Charles V, the older one. But luckily, if you want the golden chalice of Malta, all you need is the golden card of Visa, with extraordinary purchase power for extraordinary things. It's even mightier than the sword. Visa Gold fits everywhere you want to be.
Karch is a big fat bully.
I didn't know that anybody could do that to a ball.
Miller Lite is sponsoring the AVP Tour. They support this abuse of volleyball. Our organization is called Save the Balls. We go out and actually retrieve battered and abused volleyballs.
Miller Lite sent us beer, but it'll take more than that.
Run, little ball. Go free.
Special teams plays make the difference in ball games. Watch Steve Pallure, quarterback on the hold. He has to reach up from the snap for David Bailey, and it throws off the timing for Ralph Kleiman just enough to make him miss his field goal. He pulls it left. It's no good. Ernie Stautner is upset, and that gives the Admirals a chance now with a touchdown and an extra point to steal this one from the Galaxy.
Coach Al Luganville saying last week at home against Scotland, Amsterdam was dysfunctional in the fourth quarter. Let's see if they can function now in the fourth and pull this one out on a game they've been greatly outplayed, especially offensively, throughout the evening. There is Brent Moss on the carry, Bruce Walker, the nose tackle, and Hillary Butler, the linebacker, team on the stuff.
Moss has been the most effective runner, I think, tonight for these Admirals. Dawkins has had some problems, hasn't had a lot of holes, but Moss has been able to take his opportunities and get some big yardage, particularly in the first half. One series he pretty much carried him on his own to get him in field goal range.
After the gain of 4, a 3-receiver set to the near side. They set up the screen to Moss. Moss threw a tackler. Moss with the first down. Moss up to the 34-yard line. Brent Moss said that having to watch football last fall really tore his heart out. After playing for 3 seasons and running into misfortune that he caused himself, and it's matured him. And here, the spurt and the first.
Well, he does a great job of dodging the tackle from Cecil Doggett right there. Showed you the leg strength that characterized Brent Moss throughout his college career. He's able to keep that thing going, get him enough yardage for a big first down, get him out of a hole where they can open it up a little bit more.
The Rose Bowl MVP, the lone setback, the former Badger. McCoy with 1 touchdown tonight. Throws high for Moss. Didn't have to hurry it like that, and it was nowhere near Brent. And he knows it.
Well, you had great coverage downfield, particularly on the corners as a couple of men went deep. Bailey on the left side, and McCoy, he's trying to get downfield, but the coverage is so good that he's going to dump it off at the last second, and he's going to pay a price for holding it as long as he did right there. Reynolds wraps him up, a little how do you do, put him on the ground.
Luganville pondering, back in his offense. Move the ball down the field, less than 5 minutes away. Touchdown, an extra point would win it. On the delay, Moss. Moss close to the 40-yard line. Nearly a 5-yard gain for Brent. He has a couple of children, most recently arriving, 15 months old, Dollar Taylor. Has a son, Cyrus. Talked about other players, too, now here at the age of 25, 26 years old. It is time to grow up.
Yeah, he talked about his maturation process, the trouble that he got into, the time spent out of football. Said he didn't even watch the football game for a while until the playoffs, and he knows what it means to him and to his family to get back into the NFL, and he's working hard and showing us something here tonight.
Third down. They must convert. McCoy rolls to buy time. Looks, unloads, and it is picked off. Frankfurt, Sean Banks. The Galaxy with the ball again. The second interception in the fourth quarter by McCoy.
Yeah, McCoy, that time, I don't know, I got to put a little bit of the fault on his receivers in this one, as they didn't break their routes off. When you get a quarterback in a scramble situation, you got to have people coming back to the quarterback or breaking away so that he can throw it to somebody. Nobody got open. In desperation, you're going to see him out there to the left side. He's got forever. Great protection by that maligned offensive line. They held him good this time. He tries to throw it, kind of slingshot, leads it out too much. Great hands by Banks, able to come on in there with a good touch with the hands, makes the pick right there. And I tell you what, when a linebacker gets the ball, look out, because they're going to show you some moves, and they're going to do some things with it. Banks gets his chance with a big pick right there, putting Frankfurt in excellent condition once again to put this thing away.
McCoy, following the turnover, hopes to get the football one more time.
This is the sound of small businesses doing more business with Fridays free. They're doing more because thanks to Sprint, all their long distance on Fridays is free. While the rest of the week, they're still getting Sprint's low flat rates. Even better, call now and get Fridays free until the year 2000 with no term commitment. Call 1-800-598-5000 for Fridays free. Only from Sprint Business.
In every city, in every bottle, in every bubble, lies the formula for refreshment.
Pantalón.
Hey, she says nice pants. There's a million for you.
Dockers, khakis.
Searching for an inside look at the American dream? Let FX take you to Minnesota, Baseball Minnesota, where you get a real-world view of the minor leagues. And every day is a fight to get to the majors. From the owners to the manager, the families and the fans, all eyes are on the men who have the courage to dream and the talent to win. Tune in to FX and get behind the scenes of the minor leagues, because there's more to the game of baseball than what you see on the field. Baseball Minnesota, Sunday at 7.
Amsterdam's Mike McCoy on in relief of John Saka, the starter, throwing his second fourth quarter interception. Huge turnovers. You see the time remaining and the score. Fuller hands wrapped as he comes through the hole. Bobby Phillips.
Take another look at that interception. You're going to see McCoy trying to get something going here to the left. Nothing happening. He's got good pocket presence. Now he's got to scramble. So he's got to have receivers breaking away from their coverage. And you got that from Diedrich Smith, but he doesn't stick his arms out. He's got Bubba Gator arms on that one. And I tell you, Sean Banks, he stuck his arms out, came up with a big pick.
I'll look at the numbers. Amsterdam, just a third of the offensive total produced by Frankfurt tonight, playing at home. Motion, as you saw across the line, high stepping. Here's Bobby Phillips to carry inside the 35-yard line. And it's on Amsterdam. In a situation where the defense is trying to anticipate the snap count, take chances here with the game on the line.
Yeah, they sent the all-out blitz. They're coming off the corner, and they just got a little anxious. They're timing a little bit off, so it's going to cost them 5 and a down. Now, the Galaxy was able to pick up 5, but now they get a down as well.
Offside. Defense, number 90, 5 yards, still second down.
Now, with 2 timeouts left for Amsterdam. And Phillips, the lone touchdown this evening for the Galaxy, a 65-yard jaunt, and a sterling night for him. And if history repeats itself, that number will be 7-0. And is it Phillips a second time? Still on his feet inside the 20. a game ball performance for Bobby Phillips this evening, under contract to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What a great job he did, picking his way, almost tiptoeing through that line, finding his way, and then once he gets in the open, he busts into that next gear, heads up down the sideline, and keeps the feet going at the end of the run. And that's how you judge a good running back. What's he do on contact? But watch this contact here. Bobby Phillips, 2 men on him, and he still keeps the feet going, able to pick up a couple of extra yards, keep it in bounds, keep the clock rolling.
In his collegiate days at Virginia Union, he led the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association 3 straight years in rushing. He's quite a talent. Here's 8 more. He's hoping with Pittsburgh, when the ball arrives, to catch on as either, and this is what Bill Cowher's club has told him, either a third running back job or to return kicks. That's the slot that he'll be in contention for.
Well, he's shown us an awful lot, not only tonight, but in the opener he ran the ball well, a 4.1 per carry average. He's over 11 yards per carry here tonight. He's just doing a great job, really breaking it out, showing what kind of ball player he is. He runs with power. He also runs with great vision. He's got quick feet and excellent acceleration.
And he's taken a gash on that right elbow. On his night of nights, his team striving for another score.
The power, very high-powered. The power of the Phantom is phenomenal.
Presenting the most powerful Phantom vacuum cleaner ever, the Phantom Thunder.
It almost looks like a carpet shampoo.
The secret to all this powerful clean is the Phantom Vacuum's patented dual cyclonic action. 2 cyclones of non-stop power, driven by a 12-amp 2-stage motor, devour any dirt in its way. And there's another secret you'll love about the Phantom Thunder. No bags. Instead of those messy, power-robbing filter bags that can start to clog up the minute they start to fill up, the Thunder gives you continuous full power and a clear collection bin that's easy to empty.
It's great. You don't have to change any bags. You don't have to buy bags.
The Phantom Thunder is amazingly versatile. Watch. Press a button and go from upright to cleaning wand. It's 2 machines in one. And all that power and handy onboard accessories mean dust and dirt can't hide anywhere. The Thunder is tough on dirt, easy on you.
Phantom does everything. A room can be cleaned quickly, top to bottom, furniture, ceilings, walls, with one piece of equipment.
And because we know how much you care about the air your family breathes, the Phantom Thunder has a certified HEPA filter on its exhaust. It captures even minute dust and household allergens that other vacuum cleaners could throw back in the air.
And I've noticed a great change in my breathing.
The Phantom Thunder is big on power, long on versatility, with a certified HEPA filter for cleaner air and no bags. Don't wait a minute longer to find out more about the incredible 12-amp Phantom Thunder. Call now for a free video and brochure on how to get more vacuum cleaning power without ever using filter bags again. There's no obligation and nothing to lose but dust, dirt, extra work, and changing filter bags. Call now, and more power to you.
Today's game has been brought to you by Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants.
(16-10), following the 2-minute warning this evening. Frankfurt's home opener, trying to ice this game away in Ball Stadion. And even they're slated a win and a loss on the air. 2nd and short for Pallure. Out of the 2-back set, the defense walks up. They'll hammer it inside. And it's Ingo Seibert. Carries, clock rolls. Bobby Phillips tonight outgaining, in terms of total yards, the entire Admiral fleet.
Yeah, Bobby's just done a great job here tonight, showing a lot of power and strength late in the ball game, which is something that is not surprising in light of his work ethic this year. He's really turned it around. He's working out with a couple of national guys here. Ingo Seibert and Frank Mesmer have kind of taken him under the wing. They bring him to the gym. He works out, and that increase in strength and that increase in dedication has enabled him to step his ball game up yet another notch.
1st and goal. Pallure will run the toss sweep. Seibert at the 5. Spinning to the 4. Our producer this evening in Frankfurt, New York's own Ray Small, the tip of the cap to him. Mark Grant, our director from Baton Rouge, Pat Sturgeon. From London, Jacob Holman. from Los Angeles, also vital members of our Fox production team this evening. Siebert tonight, the national player, had the first carry of this game. The man born in Munich, summer of '72, during that fateful Olympic year. Now starring in his native land. Off the right side, he lowers his head and is stood up and driven back. Meeting him in the hole, Abo Abatizian, and timeout is taken now by Al Luganbill. 32 ticks of the clock remaining.
Timeout.
Luganbill
Amsterdam
needs to come up with some kind of turnover here to stay alive in this game. It doesn't look good for him now.
Ernie Stotner next week will take to the road. He has a tough matchup, doesn't he? Against Barcelona in Olympic Stadium on the mountain.
I'll be there for that one.
We look forward to it and hope our viewers around the world can join us. And for Amsterdam, it appears that they will open the year winless in their first two starts. And London, a team that Al believes could be as good as any club in the league, quarterbacked by Stan White, their defense excellent. London will play in the arena, that magnificent retractable roof stadium in the Dutch city.
Al Luganbill thought maybe it would take his team a few weeks to get that offense going the way he wants it to. And I think if you get 2 losses out of the blocks here, you're looking at the overall best record, try and qualify as the visiting team for the World Bowl, because after 5 weeks of the season, they take the team with the best record, and they'll host that World Bowl. And if you get an 0-2 start, things are stacked up against you.
Football in the spring. That's a night in which the lights, the spotlights, have fallen favorably on Bobby Phillips. Third down, half a minute remaining. They will keep it on the ground and driven right back. Standing up in the hole was Turner, and he was hammered by Cedric Figaro, and there is the final timeout by our count to stop the clock.
Figaro came on a blitz there and just met Vernon Turner, a much smaller man, in the hole. And Turner started going backwards in a hurry. Figaro with a big hit. And they still have a chance, not much of one, with just 27 seconds left. You're going to have to shake the ball loose here. Or I don't know if Ernie Stotner is going to go with the field goal unit, risk a block. Actually, if he does make that field goal, then it's safe to say it's over. And Ralph Kleinman has shown good accuracy tonight. The one that he did miss was due to a bad snap.
That kept the door open for Amsterdam in this game. It would have made it a 19-10 affair. That from 30 yards. This will be simply a 23-yard effort straight on. Set down by Pulur out of the snap by David Bailey. Good snap and the spot, and it is good. And that's the game. Kleinman tonight with 4 field goals. Bobby Phillips sterling on the ground. And Frankfurt will win its home opener and earn its first victory of 1997.
I think one guy you don't want to overlook in this one is Chad May. Came out and did an excellent job, spread the ball around, used a lot of different receivers, and got them on the board early. And then Steve Pallure coming in, kind of doing the last half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter for Ernie Stotner. Gets him his first W. Ernie's happy. We were talking to him, and he talked about sacrifice being the only way to win. He made his guys sacrifice this week. Gives them positive reinforcement in that extra hard work pays off for you with victories.
Ernie Stotner won games as a player in his National Football League career 9 times an All-Pro. And he wears those Super Bowl rings too. A Super Bowl ring on his left hand, a Hall of Fame ring on his right, and you never get tired of winning, do you?
You never do. You never do. And there's the picture of victory right there. Ernie Stotner, very happy with his team. They went through a lot, and now they're going to celebrate together.
In his 70s, and still a mountain of a man in terms of this game of professional football. Perhaps America's leading worldwide ambassador for the game. Contrast that with the disappointment Al Luganbill must feel. He has a 5-hour bus ride back to Amsterdam awaiting him this evening. A lot of time to ponder what took place tonight.
Well, I wouldn't count out an Al Luganville team at any point in time, particularly this early in the year. You bet you he's going to get back to work and try and iron things out on that offense, which was sparked a little bit by Brent Moss and Mike McCoy coming in here tonight. And they're going to get some things out of this film. They improved. They did some things better. And I look for them not to lay down for anyone, that's for certain.
Delay a game, the call here. Push the football back. It's been a good 2 weeks for Mike Pereira, our referee. He's enjoyed the 2 games he's been assigned to work here, and he'll be back to the National Football League, one of the NFL's best, out of Sacramento, California. Come the fall, there might be an official or two from this crew that is promoted to the NFL from the collegiate ranks. It's one of the purposes of the NFL going global. It gives the players and the officials a great deal of experience.
Yeah, they did a great job tonight, I'll say that.
And a very difficult game at times to officiate. Quite a few flags.
Mark Lillibridge trying to return a kick. David Webb brought him down on that one as we get to take a look at the Galaxy fans celebrating a home victory.
Are those stars or sparklers, Ray Bentley?
I'm going to go with sparklers, but I wouldn't rule it out.
And you have to present your Ray Bentley Face Painting Award. You have tens of thousands of candidates here this evening. This has been a frolicking affair from about midday today. Right now in Germany, it's close to 10 o'clock here. They will party throughout the night in this historic city on the Main River. McCoy will be sacked back at the 35-yard line. Dropped by the Galaxy's Bruce Walker.
Walker's a big, tough middle guard that gets a lot of power rush, bull rush type stuff. That push he had that time enabled him to get his sack. Last week, 5 tackles, a pass broken up, and a forced fumble. Throw a sack onto that stack as well.
And a spike by McCoy to give him one more shot. A broad grin by Ernie. He says he still hears from the old Cowboys that he coached. You know, that was his defensive unit in the 60s, facing Vince and the Packers all those years. He stays in touch with Lilly and Cole and all the guys. Be interesting to see next week who his starting quarterback is. Is it the ex-Cowboy Steve Pallor or Chad May who opened? He'll have a week to decide. Fittingly, this ends with the sack by the defense. We have enjoyed this one tonight in Frankfurt. We certainly hope you have too. Ernie Stotner and the Frankfurt Galaxy prevailed this evening. The victory keyed by the running of that man, running back Bobby Phillips. For Ray Bentley, Ray enjoyed it, and our entire Fox team, I'm Paul Kennedy. So long this evening from Frankfurt, Germany, and this World League contest.